And we're back. Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and you guys know the deal. Come on in, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. Thanks to Mama Pro for kicking us off to start the goal with the $2.99 super sticker. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday, guys. I'm really excited today to hear about these charges. Yesterday, the charges against David explained. Oh my God, guys, this he really could get the death penalty. Just because it's in a pause doesn't mean that we're not going to get another governor. 99.999%, our governor's getting kicked out for buying. I don't get into politics, but I guess he bought his own books. 1 point something million dollars of his own books funded to him, our current California governor. He's going to get kicked, and when the new governor comes in, they can make sure the death penalty is back. And they'd be smart to do that, guys, because this is going to scare the crap out of David and the lawyer team. So first, let me say hi to everybody, and second, you guys will not be disappointed in today's episode. All right, so settle in, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, get a blanket. It's pouring outside here in San Jose, and let's hope no power goes off or anything like that. All right, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Good to see you, SLD. You gotta hopefully you're subscribed. Check the notifications. What's up, Liv? Good to see you. Kimberly, Clementine's usually in the bushes. My girl Tiff. Thank you for helping me get this episode together. Michelle, Mama Pearl's in the house. Edith, Cool and Chris. Thank you for yesterday, by the way. You gifted memberships and then you were on the rewatch crew. But thank you. I appreciate that. Sadie's mama says, let's roll. Listen, guys, it's raining, pouring out here in San Jose. And baby Guilty was testing. She's testing all week. So she does good, goes to school, does her test good, does everything right. And, Mama Pearl and I took her on a little excursion. So that's why we're a few minutes late. But we're here. Good to see you, Cuff You. I answered you back earlier. We will reconnect. Thank you for saying about the death penalty they're handing out. They are. It's in a moratorium, but I'm in California, and that doesn't mean a thing. Let me tell you, even if he never gets executed or no one ever gets executed again, you're still screwed when you're in a cell for 23 hours a day. All right? So kiss that. And guys, we're going to have an interesting take on things today, because although we're talking about the shocking charges against David, which honestly, that's not clickbait to me. These charges are shocking AF, and especially for California. They do not go this hard unless they have evidence. All right. Again, I was born and raised in California, and I know the kind of cases that happen and the penalties and what they would put forward. And that's just not, let me tell you, it's rightfully so that they took 7 months to do this. I know why they did that. They did that for the same reason of what happened today. I'm going to show you all this, guys. So just let's get you guys settled in. Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, listen here. They've got details on this guy and the charges. There's no way they don't have evidence. But the reason they solidified their evidence, I want you to remember this. If that happens to you or anybody ever, you go on a trial, you have a right to waive your speedy trial. Most people do that, hence why it takes 3 or 4 years to get to trial. Some people use the tactic and say, nope, let's go. And that's what they might be doing. They've requested for 2 more days out, the 23rd, to have a pre-trial or at least a preliminary hearing, because the defense has nothing. They don't know anything. David's confident, and I'm going to show you the court hearing, but something special. We're going to do the court hearing with Dr. G, so you can see how confident they are in thinking that they've got away with stuff. But before we get started on doing anything, let Wes in. I'm going to play like 3 clips for you, and I'm not going to give you any context. All right, good example. Yep, Lacey Peterson, death never determined, body too. You're right. And you know what, ISIS? There is no possible way that they would have got lying in wait. They would never overcharge like that without the evidence. So we're going to talk about that today, but we're going to do it guilty of crime style. We're going to talk about the sharp object that allegedly took Celeste's knife. And we're going to talk about not just an object, the object. The object. You guys, I found out so much today. It was wild. I started going on Reddit and TikTok and all these, and I realized, oh my God, David was playing her the whole time, and he was playing other little girls at the same time because, well, he doesn't have real feelings. He was just playing all of them, and this is exactly what was going to happen. Celeste was going to tell on him, and she had said it. Like I said, I'm going to play some clips for you. You're going to see exactly what I'm saying. She was a witness turned victim. Do you guys know what that means? That means that at some point, either her parents called law enforcement about David and the whole pedo thing, and she got some kind of connection, and that either FBI or LAPD was already targeting David, and he killed her. I'm telling you right now, I've been checking all since yesterday. Every single channel saying the same thing. Right back. What's up, Nikki B? How you doing? Not seen you for a while. Been really poorly. Oh, I'm glad you're back. All right, let me let Wes in, and then we're just gonna get to it because my goodness, David is in a whole lot of trouble, and he's still confident as ever. Damn, that's crazy. You know what? Let me grab Wes, but I'll do this. Let me just put up the hold on real quick. So you hear him now. He's mad. He's like, open the door. I want to sit at your feet and just fart away. And also, guys, for those of you that might be confused about the Rivas family, they were supposed to give a statement yesterday, my friends, and they didn't. They dipped out. They left. I'll show you, though, them coming in. So if you think you missed something, you didn't. All right. What's up, Flojo? Good to see you. How you doing? All right. I'll go grab Wes because
continue to follow breaking developments in the arrest of the singer David. He's now being held without bail for the murder of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. During today's arraignment, David pleaded not guilty. Meantime, neighbors of the family are calling for justice.
NBC4's Christian Cáceres is live in Lake Elsinore with their reaction. Christian.
Well, Annabelle and Colleen, neighbors tell us they want justice, and that is why this memorial that you see here behind me keeps growing outside of the family home. You can see just how many people have come by to drop off flowers and candles and toys along this fence. But today, we spoke to the person behind this memorial who says it's the least she can do for the victim, for those who knew her.
As the Rivas family made their way inside a Los Angeles courtroom on Monday, outside of their Lake Elsinore home lays a picture of their daughter Celeste, who was killed last year. At the center of the investigation is 21-year-old singer David.
And I don't think you guys realized how cocky this little son of a gun is. I'm just going to call him a pedo. And what I'm going to say about this pedo is that he is confident as ever. I don't think he realizes how many people turned on him and that it's 2026 and everything's recorded. All right. Jay Flojo sent you an email. Check your. All right. Thank you, Sint. We're good. I've got so many things. Okay. So they finally made a statement. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. I'll get to that in a minute. Thank you. Thank you. Andy Isham. Good to see you, my friend. Back in green. How's everybody doing today? Thanks. I will get to. He's a fucking chomo. Excuse my language. I shouldn't have said that, but it pisses me off. And I now know that they were already investigating him for being a chomo for one or more underage children. Now, they didn't say guys. They didn't say females or males. He was regularly, in my opinion, being a pedo. And Celeste latched onto him. You guys are going to hear you're going to hear some messages of the breakup between Celeste and David, obviously when she was still alive. And another thing I caught was that he used her messages, the breakup messages in his video and in the tour, his music, all that. I was on TikTok today listening to his music and I heard voices and I was like, that sounds like Celeste. It sure the F is. All right. Flojo says victim number 3 also put out a statement and so many more are coming. I got to bask in that. I got to relish in this win. It's a small win, but we got to get rid of this pedo. My daughter is the same age that Celeste was when she allegedly met David. So, guys, you guys need to understand your grandchildren, your children, everybody. Now, Celeste's mom was abusive, allegedly, but that means she was running away to something and David snatched her up. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. All right, let's finish this so we can get to a couple clips. I'm not going to say a thing.
David, whose real name is David Burke, who has been charged for the murder.
There's murder in the first degree, possibly with capital punishment. Secondly, a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old girl. And finally, the allegation of mutilating a corpse.
David pled not guilty, and his lawyer told the courtroom the evidence will show David is not responsible. Legal analyst Royal Oak says although it took months for investigators to make an arrest in the 2025 case, it's quite possible other defendants may be named down the road.
Oh, there's going to be other people, but I don't think they're defendants. I think they are going to be witnesses for the defense. All right. Natalie says, Puerto Rico, ho, Puerto Rico. I threw in the ho part. Okay, so what's up, Sylvette? How you doing? He is a sicko, and his family knew what he was doing. And you know what? Had he just said, screw it, let her tell on me, Diddy only got 4.5 years for all of the grapes and all of the things he did. 4.5 years. This guy would have been out in 2 years. No one would have really cared and they'd have moved on. But instead, this cocky, sick pedo went ahead and did this to a little girl. All right. So we're going to go over the legalities, but we're going to go a lot into the actual knife and recordings of Celeste when she was alive. Dude, they have the evidence, guys. You can't charge someone for lying in wait if you don't have the documents to back it up. All right. Lying in wait means he texted Celeste and whatever. Let's say he texted Celeste and said, hey, I want to go to the movies. I'll come pick you up. Okay, come pick me up. Celeste tells her brother, David's coming to pick me up. We're going to the movies. And then he takes her back to the house and then he already had planned on killing her. He knew what he was doing. There's got to be a connection with the electronics. There's got to be a connection with the witnesses. That's why they weren't able to charge David before they got Neo in Asia and all these other people that are flipping on him. Not only that, guys, but they have to cross their T's and dot their I's. He might not sign his waive his right to a speedy trial, which means that they have to go, 60 to 90 days? If he doesn't sign that paper that says we can have a trial, in 60 or 90 days, then prosecution is screwed if they don't have it. And guys, they have terabytes. What is it you hear, Flojo? How many terabytes of evidence did you say they have? Anyway, all right. We're going to play some clips without me saying a thing. I'm getting there.
Even though many of the details haven't been made public.
Did someone in David's circle know about what he was doing? Did they help him? Will they be named as accessories to a crime? The district attorney says he may go for capital punishment, which might cause people to say, well, what do you mean? This is California. Do we still even have it? Well, yeah, we do.
I keep all the lights on and make sure they're all working every night so it doesn't go dark.
Miles away at the Lake Elsinore neighborhood where Rivas grew up is a growing memorial set up by her neighbor, Kaylee Cortez.
Families, I've seen people kneeling down with children, maybe they're praying to her, maybe they're thinking of memories of her.
Cortez says she didn't know Rivas, but knew she had to do something once details of the investigation surfaced.
She was a real person. She lived a real life, and she deserves all the justice.
Tonight, the family's lawyer invoking Marcy's Law, which allows the victim's family to get updates about the case, which neighbors hope will help the family get justice.
The fact that they said they're going to be in court every day, that just shows they are fighting for their daughter, even though she's not here anymore.
And as we come back,
and I'm going to leave this up while I read the statement that so kindly Flojo sent to me. Statement made by Celeste's family, since they didn't show up after. And David, I'm sorry, in the David case, Flojo, I actually saw you on TV today. I was watching all the news, and you're wearing this bright red shirt on the news. And I'm like, oh my God, there's Flojo TV. I saw you in the background. So, all right, listen, they didn't show up, but what they said was, we would like to thank the Los Angeles Police Department and the District Attorney's Office for their hard work. We would also like to thank the people of Lake Elsinore for their support. Celeste was a beautiful, strong girl who loved to sing and dance. Every Friday night was movie night, and we spent wonderful times together, the family wrote. We love her very much, and she always told us that she loved us. We will miss her deeply, and we all want all we want is justice for Celeste. Okay, so that's that, you guys. I can't say much about that, since when I show you the timeline of when she was gone and when she wasn't, what were these parents doing? All right. Yeah, that was you with the big red shirt on. I was like, Flojo. Oh my goodness. This case is just, it gets crazier by the second.
Out here live, neighbors say they hope the Rivas case will spark awareness. Now, as for the family, they were expected to speak out for the very first time outside the courtroom in Los Angeles about their daughter's case. But at the last minute, we were told that they declined to make any public comment. We're live in Lake Elsinore. Christian Casares.
All right, let's get this out of here and play those clips, and then we'll get into timelines and all the other stuff we got to go through. Let's see, is this the right one? Well, we've got a few, so we'll just start with what we have. All right, remember, the district attorney, prosecutor, the people that brought the case together, FBI, they have terabytes and terabytes to go through. And here is just an example of a few that I'm going to show you. Quick clips.
Oh, yo, wait! Pray for his career chat. Are we done? Are we?
We need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too? Can we delete anything? You done for, bro? Y'all are not done? Now you gonna Yo, wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which one? What's good, David? Big family's probably. Bro, thank you, Mitchell Conjure.
I gotta sound with him if you even.
You gonna That's controversial.
It's controversial of raping kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. I media trained you. That's controversial.
It's controversial of raping kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. I media trained you. That's controversial.
It's controversial of raping kids.
It's controversial of raping kids. I'm sure everybody has seen this by now. Again, this is going straight into those terabytes of evidence they were already investigating him for. Now, they were only, and I say only because nobody takes it that seriously. I tell you, the world is run by pedos, and you know that. He would have got no more than maybe 4 or 5 years tops. But she just said that out loud, and I didn't realize before, after I listened to the voicemails of them talking and him telling him how much he loved her while having other girls around and having sex with everybody, this was all on film. And what she said was him raping kids. They were already investigating him for that. And then she turns up dead. She turns up missing. And then they find her body. All right. What's up, Mel? Good to see you, BB. Melissa, BB. How you doing? Oh, prison time is just the tip of the iceberg. If they have the evidence, I think they do. This guy's so screwed. All right. So let's pull this down real quick. We need justice for Celeste Rivas because, guys, let's be real. He started grooming her allegedly at the age of 11 going into 12. And I think she died maybe just a little bit before her 15th birthday. So some people will tell you she was 15. Some people will tell you she was 14. Either way, he used her, he abused her, and then he got rid of her. Literally. All right. Lying in wait doesn't mean that you literally lying in wait is very specific. All right. There you go. Well, so we're in the terabytes, and we talked about how many terabytes last night. I was on different channels talking about the case. All right. So David Anthony Burke, we're going to see him in court. We're going to talk about the charges. We're going to talk about, and you're going to see the actual knife that allegedly I think he used. Because, guys, I'm you have knife and gun collectors. Well, yeah, I have both of those that I collect. And I know a lot about sharp object knives and how they would work. Okay, so we're going to get into that. He hacked her body apart. Whoever did that hacked her body apart. It was like a dog ripping it apart. And when you see the knife, you'll understand why. I'll justify why that is. Now, you look back at the timeline, and I'm pretty visual, so I'm putting that up there for you all so you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. But what I'm going to do is just quickly give you a timeline of how he was arrested and when they met, what the hell happened. All right. So we know now David has been charged with sexual abuse, murder, and mutilation of a 14-year-old girl whose decomposed remains were discovered in his abandoned Tesla 7 months ago. All right. Now I'm just going to give you a quick timeline readout, and I put it on the screen. So LA prosecutors announced David's charges yesterday against the 21-year-old artist whose name is David Burke. Now, while the charges were formally filed this week, the disturbing allegations date back to 2023, guys. Mr. Burke's defense attorney entered a plea of not guilty on his behalf during the arraignment. Now, here's a quick development flow chart of what happened. All right, let's go take ourselves back to 2022. All right, COVID hits 2020, 2022. People don't exactly know what's going on yet. That's when David comes out with, he's a content creator. That's when his music goes viral in 2022. All right, he began making his own music to accompany the video game montages that he would post online. Now, this is back in 2022, and he was on TikTok. He got recognized for Romantic Homicide. Now, the song ultimately peaks at number 4 on the billboards, but then Burke signs a contract with Courtroom and Interscope Records, which I told you they both dropped him at this point. Okay, his music does suck, and if you know how his music came about, then rightfully so. He went into the closet and was making music on his phone for his video game. But guys, that's not even the extent of it. Hey Danielle, good to see you. I'm glad you caught that live. I don't know. Carrie's texting me and asking if I can see her, but I can't see anything right now because I'm reading. So Carrie, if you hear me, I can't answer you back just yet. All right, 2022, David goes viral, right? Done and done. He would have not probably met Celeste had that not happened. Now let's fast forward to September 7, 2023, where prosecutors say the abuse begins. All right, David allegedly began the continuous essay of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who had just turned 13, according to LAPD. Now, the girl had been described by authorities as a runaway, and court documents say she lived with Burke in Los Angeles. So I want you to understand that the parents did go and they did file a missing person, And they did tell law enforcement who she was with. They knew she was with David, so they were already onto him. And he just goes on the internet and teases everybody, has these little girls on there. And he's just a cocky piece of pedo garbage. All right. Now, quickly, where to go? All right, April 5th. All right, wait, hold on. I went too far. September 7th, 2023. They meet sometime near that. They meet actually together, and he starts doing the CSAM stuff with her and grooming her. Now, fast forward to 2024 on April 5th, and Rivas Hernandez, Celeste, is reported missing. Now, her family reports that, guys, listen to this. She's a 7th grader. Now, put that in perspective. April 5th, 2024, Celeste is reported missing. Her family reports that this 7th grader was missing from her home in Lake Eleanor, about 70 miles from southeast of Los Angeles. And that's for the last time. They never saw her alive again. They reported her missing several times. Now, a few days later, April 11th, 6 days later. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is a year later. 2024, she goes missing. Then you go a year later, a year and 6 days, April 11, 2025, and David makes his Coachella debut, and he performs at the music festival, and he goes viral again. Now, this time for face planting hard on the stage during a failed backflip attempt. So in the interview, Associated Press during the festival, David talked about using social media from fans to refine his set list. He says, I am my fans and my fans are me. And we work in tandem with each other. And it's such a beautiful, poetic kind of thing. Whatever, dude. 12 days later, April 23rd, Celeste is last known to be alive. Now, remember this date, April 23rd, 2025. Law enforcement believes that is the day that she was killed and that David lay in wait for her. He planned it, brought her over, and took her life. April 23rd, 2025. All right. Prosecutors allege that. Now, April 25th, David releases the album Withered. All right. That's his first album. In the social media post and media interviews, he describes using a recurring motif in his music and his videos, his alter ego. I think it's called a Tommy. After the YouTube interview with Tap Notes, podcast published. Now this is his career's finally taking off. The day they found Celeste, we know that he was on tour and they had to stop the tour, and not because he wanted to stop the tour, guys. It was because they forced it. You got this guy on stage with bloody outfits using Celeste Rivas' own voice in those messages to say the saddest things of this girl that was dismembered, head and torso in one bag, legs and arms, and just absolute mush inside of a Tesla. Okay. And he's on stage giving the performance of his life, doesn't make a statement, doesn't even blink an eye, just keeps on trucking. All right. Well, he did it. He tore her body apart, guys. And that's why I'm glad that they've got to this point and that they have the evidence. Now, on May 5th, 2025, Rivas' remains are mutilated. May 5th, 2025, authorities say Celeste remains are mutilated. One felony charge against Burke is unlawful mutilation of human remains. Prosecutors say Rivas Hernandez's arms and legs were severed from her body on or around May 5th. All right. Now, August 5th, David goes on tour for Withered. Remember, he used Celeste's voice in this, and he wrote these songs that correlated with his relationship. He also released Fortnite and did a collaboration with Epic Games. All right. So he's doing good. August comes. Celeste's dead. He doesn't have to worry about this little girl telling on him. September 8th comes along, and Celeste's body is discovered. 2025. That's one day after she would have turned 15. Her badly decomposed remains are in the trunk, body bags in a Tesla, registered to Burke. Now, the 2023 model had been towed from the neighborhood to the tow yard, and they smelled remains. All right. They found a cadaver bag, 2 cadaver bags with, guys, listen, trigger warning, because these cadaver bags were covered in bugs. and it was almost just like a mush with Rivas Hernandez's head and torso inside of one of the bags with just mushy and bugs crawling. And the second bag contained her arms and her legs found underneath, all torn apart again with bugs and just mush from being out there for 2-3 weeks in the hot sun of LA. Now, September 19th, Burke still continues to go on tour, but it finally gets canceled. All right. They're going to reschedule it to November 4th. And then we see October 6th coming along. This guy's just laying around doing his thing on October 6th. October 6th, 2025, guys, they actually had a funeral for Celeste. Did you guys know that? I don't know if they took the remains of her body parts and put it in a casket. I don't know the details, but that family had to endure some crazy, some awful things, we'll say. All right. Now we get to a couple days before Thanksgiving of this year, last year, November 24th, 2025, and police block release of coroner's report. It's an unusual move because police blocked the release of a coroner's report on Rivas Hernandez, and the medical examiner just couldn't figure out what was going on. So the court order initiated the LAPD to place a security hold on the case. All right. The order said no records or details, including cause and manner of death, can be released without further notice. Now, that includes even to the prosecution. I mean, even to the defense. They don't even know what's in there. The defense doesn't have any of this. Now, fast forward to February 2026, and Burke's revealed as a target of a secret grand jury probe. All right. Court filings were said to everything that's out there now is what they saw. April 16th, that was 5 days ago, David's arrested. April 20th, he's charged with murder, lewd and lascivious acts with a person under 14, and mutilating a body. The charging documents also allege several factors connected to the crimes, like more CSAM for a harsher sentence. Those circumstances include allegations that Burke was lying in wait for Rivas Hernandez to kill her, who entered his home and was never seen again. All right. That she was also a witness. Guys, she was the witness to the investigation against the other minors and herself. Burke didn't know she was a witness and he killed her, they say, for financial gain. All right. They say when she threatened to expose his criminal conduct of being a pedo, he decided to kill her. Now those are strong charges, my friends. Strong charges. Okay. You can't, no, it just doesn't go down like that. So we're going to start off with, let me show you the parents come in, and then we're going to do the court thing, but we're doing the court thing with Dr. G. And then we're going to do the, oh my God, the weapons, the voicemails, guys. I couldn't stop today. I couldn't stop finding out information. It was driving me crazy. This is Celeste Rivas' parents going in. All right, I'm just showing you that they were there, but they didn't talk.
Let's be careful on the stairs, guys, okay?
Yep. I'm gonna check when I'm done. I can't do anything. Nobody's doing that. I think you might have accidentally got a block. I'll check it when I'm done. All right, let's continue. And we're gonna break down just like a 6-minute breakdown of the actual charges. But first, let's watch him in court and see how cocky he is. So that way, when I read the charges to you and we explain everything, that you'll just be feeling a lot better about how cocky he is. All right. Now, I don't know what's going on here, but I got, I don't know if any of the mods, Carly, you're here. Carrie, you guys, Carrie, Kary in chat, Carly, says that she can't we can't see her messages and they're disappearing. If you have any way, Carly, to see if we can unblock Carrie. I don't know if she's blocked or what's happening. Anyway, Carrie, I got you when I'm done with this episode if I can't get it, if Carly can't help me. All right. Love you, girl. Bye. Okay. Sorry, guys. This is how much we love our people here. I don't want her thinking that, we're blocking her. All right. Listen up, guys. This just came out like 12 minutes ago.
Buddy, Dr. G here. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language expert. And today we're going to be analyzing the behavior.
And guys, I don't always agree with him, but in this, it was beautiful. This was so beautiful for me to see because I was watching the, hey, what's up, SoCali? I was watching the court. I was going to bring the 6-minute court. And I was like, that's just not as much fun as if we watched the court with Dr. G. What's up, my pastor called Mish? How you doing? Badass mods. You got that right. My mods are dope. Mama Pearl also wants to know, and everybody else, Flojo, when is your show? When is your show? What time do you stream, Flojo? Drop that in chat, and if someone could drop his link.
And body language of David Burke. Before we get started with this, a couple of quick things. One, I wanted to make sure this is not a psychological evaluation of it.
Blah, blah, blah,
After
blah.
her body was recovered from the front trunk of his Tesla. Today, we're going to be looking at 2 different clips. First, very briefly, we're going to be looking at the DA talking about the charges. I just want you to see what some of the charges are because it's fairly complicated.
Yes.
And then we're going to be looking at David in court. We're going to be looking at his behavior and his body language.
Now, it is fairly complicated if you haven't been doing this for a while. But I got to tell you, what's up from Vegas? Are you coming to CrimeCon, girl? 2026, we're going to be there. Now listen, I had to call Tiff, my girl Tiff, yesterday to talk about the case. That's how bad I needed to let it out. All right. I had to call Tiff and be like, you got a minute? I need to talk about this case. I was talking it out to see if that's what it meant. And yeah, that's what it meant. All right, 8 or 9. Got it. Thank you. If someone wants to drop his link.
Language. All right, let's just jump right in.
Is that, again, there are 3 sets of charges that have been brought. The first-degree murder with special circumstances. And again, those special circumstances are lying in wait.
So I want to explain what some of these mean, because there's the implication that if they're charging with this, they must have some very interesting evidence because they are very, very specific.
That Celeste went to Mr. Burke's home on the night of April 23rd, 2025, as alleged in the complaint, at his invitation.
Now, I want you to understand that I don't think that in California they're going to throw around these large accusations with special circumstances without having some kind of evidence as far as video goes. The video footage probably saw her going in and never coming out. They do know that her brother knows that David picked her up that night and that was the last day. Also, David tried to confuse people with being where at Coachella or here when she died, the day of her death. He was doing some trickery behind the scenes with his social media. He was posting things later, not at the moment, acting like he was there. But no, David. Listen, you like all your electronics and your 2026 video media. You could be a star. Well, guess what? You're a star now. You're the star of the show, buddy. Good job. Good job, because now everything's recorded and all the kids talk about everything. Let a group of kids commit a murder and see how fast they start turning on each other. Always. And then you take their devices and they're all talking about it. Oh yeah, sorry. I feel really bad last night that we had to dismember this person. Yeah, it sucks. So we should go get a drink. Okay. I mean, that's how these people, that's what they do. I shit you not. It's ridiculous. What's up, Wolfpack? Good to see you. Yes, you're going to be there. You should email me. All right. Anyway, Honey Bun, thank you. Thank you, Honey Bun. I think you're from What's the Obsession, huh? Just jumping on your target. Thank you, my friend. I do appreciate you. David gonna lay up with some grown men and not get any lube. Let's pray that no one sends him lube.
So what they're saying is that he invited Celeste to his place with the specific intention of murder.
And again, was not heard from again. The second is a special circumstance being that this murder was committed for financial gain. As the evidence will show in court, the financial gain was for Mr. Burke to maintain his very lucrative musical career.
The financial gain piece, I think, can be confusing because it's not that he would get money from her. The idea is preventing himself from losing money. So in other words, if he can silence her, then she won't be able to expose him or something like that. We don't know what was said between them. Maybe she said,
we don't know, but everything is caught on electronics and videos. And as you could see, David lived his life online. Okay. If you go onto Reddit or TikTok or any of those, this guy talks about everything. He wipes his ass and he goes on there. It's like, yeah, I just took a shit and wiped my ass. You want to hear my new song? Oh, hey, cutie. I know you're only 11, but let me pick you up. Like, just out in the open. Like, he could just walk on water. He was untouchable. Sorry, not sorry. These charges in California mean something.
I'm going to go to the press about us or whatever it is. But the point being is that they're suggesting that they have enough evidence to prove that that's why this was done, that he invited her over and then did it for this reason.
That Celeste was threatening on that particular night. The third charge, in addition to lying in wait and for financial gain, is murdering a witness to an investigation.
And what this would imply is that because of Celeste's age, that there was an investigation related to that. So this would have stopped that investigation. So these charges are very, very serious. They're
very serious, and you see a big smile on my face because that's the dumbest thing on the planet you could ever do is to kill a witness. I'm sorry, I gotta find the humor in this because, like I said, my daughter's the exact same age that Celeste was when she was out there on the web meeting David and being groomed. All right, the only thing he's going to do is get himself a life without the possibility of parole. And how cocky and smug he is gross. You're right. He's gross, crude, completely without talent. And when you hear the music that he put Celeste's breakup messages in, dude, that solidifies this. This is just, I mean, she deserved better. We need justice for Celeste. Her family didn't do what they should have, in my opinion.
Also very, very specific. So what's implied is that if they are going for these special circumstances, they believe they have enough evidence to actually prove that. This case has been very strange. It took so long to arrest him. There's been a lot of odd things about this case, and I expect that it will continue to be a little bit odd. But what we're going to do now that we've talked about the special circumstances so you can better understand the case that's being made, now let's look at David in court.
Gina Peter, on behalf of our client, David Burke, who's in custody.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Burke.
Deputy District Attorney Beth Sullivan, people, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So the first thing you may be noticing is that he looks remarkably calm. There's different areas that I'm always looking at in situations like this. The brow, we're looking at the blink rate, we're looking at the mouth. And right now, he's looking around at who's speaking, but otherwise appears very, very calm.
And counsel, on behalf of your client, do you waive formal reading of the complaint, advisement of rights, including armed forces?
Now you notice that head position he just moved to.
Client, do you waive formal reading of the complaint, advisement?
So what we can see is that he turns his chin up and that exposes his neck.
Now, guys, he had contacts, and I don't know if you saw this mugshot close up, but he was wearing gray contacts, okay, and cocky AF in the background. But I got to tell you something, guys. I got to tell you that his lawyers are juicing him up by saying, "Don't worry, we've got this. We're gonna kick their ass. They're hyping him up. I'm telling you right now." High-paid lawyers like that would not tell you anything different. They are giving him his confidence. All right. Thank you, Wolfpack. I heard that too, and I'll look into it. I want to see what that meant. I heard that word AIDS, and I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? All right, this cocky mofo. I didn't realize how cocky he was until Dr. G brought this video in. I was like, whoa. All right, let's continue.
Typically, we associate that with someone who doesn't feel threatened. They look at this situation, they feel like they're above it in a sense. They're willing to turn their nose up to the situation, so to speak, because unconsciously we tend to protect ourselves when we feel threatened. So what this says right here is that he's not feeling threatened at all at the moment.
Rights, including armed forces and veterans' rights, in her plea of not guilty, denying any and all special allegations, enhancements, and priors.
Yes, Your Honor.
And requesting a preliminary hearing within the period.
Yes, Your Honor. From the media reports, apparently there have been 4 months of secret grand jury proceedings.
He's so calm it almost appears cold because you're seeing no emotion on the face at all. Not even really seeing stress right here.
Apparently there have been 4 months of secret grand jury proceedings.
As a forensic psychologist, I'm trained to spot blind spots, the details that you can miss that change the whole story. The news has blind spots too, and Ground News can help you see them. Ground News is a news comparison platform that pulls from over 50,000 sources and makes it easier to understand what's actually happening. You can see the political bias of each outlet, along with insights like factuality, ownership, and how coverage breaks down across the spectrum. My favorite feature is called Blind Spots. It shows which stories are being disproportionate, barely getting strikes.
Really?
Barcode are going.
That's a long one, dude.
Watch his eyes right here.
Rivas Hernandez, nor was he the cause of her death. And we would like to be able to have the evidence come into the light of day at the earliest opportunity.
And as you can see, as his attorney was saying that, for a moment there, he looks over at the judge, and that way he wants to see the reaction of the judge based on what's being said. We do that as a way to gauge how everybody's feeling. It doesn't imply guilt or innocence, but it means that he's very aware of how everybody in the room feels, particularly when this is being talked about.
To have the evidence come into the light of day at the earliest opportunity in order to establish that. We're asking for...
You saw the head nod. He looks fairly calm when he's doing this. The one thing we're seeing that implies any degree of stress is that his blink rate is picking up some. But aside from that, everything is slow. It's calm. He seems fairly methodical with.
Now, listen, if you hire Mark Garagos and you start throwing millions at him, he's going to feed you whatever shit that you want him to. And he's a cocky bastard, Mark Garagos. I love him and I love his cockiness, but he'll tell you, yeah, pay me the millions. I'm going to get you off. They got to be cocky like that. But that doesn't mean anything. Just because she's cocky and she's a high-paid lawyer, the moment his money runs out, bye. You're going to be like everybody else. What's up, Patricia? And why? Good to see you. Normally, parents charge. I know they didn't, but listen, Patricia, I think their parents were working with LAPD because they were reporting her missing. So I think they worked with LAPD on what they were charging David for about they were looking into him being a pedophile, and then he killed Celeste allegedly. So he took out a witness from the state. Go ahead and do that and see how fast your ass gets locked up. But in this case, they needed to get enough evidence and go through all the terabytes. All right. So a smart move would be for her to say, okay, our preliminary hearing is in a few days. Now we want to go to trial in 60 days. Right? Because they don't have time to go through all this stuff, but neither does defense. However, defense doesn't have to put on a defense. They can see everything the prosecution does and then just wrap it up and say, I'm done. There's nothing. Prove it.
Of the choices that he's making body language wise.
Earliest opportunity in order to establish that.
Yeah.
We're asking for April 23rd as a 3 of 10, Your Honor.
Anything from the people?
We'll be very happy to put on the evidence that we've collected in this case in the last
Yes.
So I talked about putting our chin up. She seems very confident as well. So right now we're seeing two sides that are both very confident in their cases.
Case in the last several months.
Thank you. So now, Mr. Burke, the matter will be set in Department 105. The matter is ordered assigned to Judge Charlene Almeida.
This is a very casual way of saying yes. It's basically saying, yeah, that's fine. And it's a very casual way of doing that. We typically don't do that when we're feeling stressed. So he is remarkably calm under the circumstances.
In Department 105, the matter is ordered assigned to Judge Charlene Almeida, Department 105, for all purposes by the judge of the supervising judge of criminal.
Yes, Your Honor. If I may just put on the record, we have, as soon as the people arrive, delivered.
Still standing with the chin up.
Nah, Husky Lover. Neo got out right away. Neo only got detained or arrested because he wasn't showing up for the probative grand jury hearing. As soon as they arrested him or detained him, he flipped. He told everything he knew, and then he went onto his social media and talked trash about David. In other words, and Asia too. I hear Asia is hiding out because she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to get caught up in whatever, because she is also giving them information as well. Those are not friends. Those are groupies, in my opinion. All right.
We're still seeing that feeling of confidence right now.
Discovery request consistent with Penal Code Section 1054.
The blink rate picks up again. Once they start talking about discovery, you're seeing the blink rate pick up. That's really the only body language he's giving us. And even though that implies some stress, he still remains remarkably calm, almost cold.
Well, look, he's also wearing contacts as well. He's not going to have his little plush contacts and his bloody shirts and his knives and his sunshines and rainbows in there. All right. He is in protective custody right now. They have already transferred him over to the jail. All right. Let's continue.
The coroner's report was sealed in this case in order to prevent it from hampering truthful testimony from witnesses that testified in the grand jury. So an order will also have to be obtained in order to get the coroner's department, which is now the medical examiner's department, to release those materials.
Yes.
Your Honor, it's surprising news given the district attorney's office held a press conference this morning where they discussed the.
So what you're seeing is that after that was said, you saw him lick his lips. And we do that when we're feeling stressed. Our mouth starts to dry out. We do tend to lick our lips. But he's doing it very slowly, which implies that even though there's some stress, he has it fairly well managed. This is not a ton of stress for him. He is able to shut down a lot of emotions, it seems like.
Attorney's office.
Guys, I know you guys see how excited I am for this. I really am, because in the Diddy case, the Diddy trial, that was such a major letdown. The Diddy trial just said to America, just said to California, just said, hey, people that have that much money aren't accountable for much. That's all. The Diddy thing was just way overplayed. House raids. I mean, you've got people coming, like uber celebrities testifying against him, and 4.5 years. Diddy's going to be right back out being a pedo again. So this is justice so far. Let's just hope that they tighten this up, go to trial, bring that evidence, and this guy, we don't have to hear about him anymore.
Held a press conference this morning where they discussed the cause of death.
You can see how slow and controlled his behavior is.
Apparently under seal and not released by the coroner's office, as did the robbery homicide unit to the press. So we would again reiterate, we believe that Mr. Burke is entitled to discovery.
You can see the casual way that he nodded at his attorney. You can see the slow way that he's moving. He's confident in what his attorneys are doing. I think that he believes his attorneys will ultimately get him off from this. I do not think that he believes he'll be convicted of this crime, because we're seeing an extreme amount of confidence right now. And just to be clear, that has nothing to do with whether or not he's guilty. That has to do with whether or not he believes he will be convicted. And based on everything we're seeing right now, he seems very confident, given the fact that this is a disposition hearing where he pleads guilty or not guilty, just pled not guilty. Seems very calm about the whole thing.
We have served the people with notice. They have 15 days to produce.
You can see the chin just keeps going up. That feeling of not feeling threatened, of feeling confident, just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Discovery in this case, we would ask that they do that in conscientious earnestness and as quickly as possible.
Report in this case. Forthwith.
Thank you.
The matter set in Department 105, as the court indicated, April 23rd.
He doesn't even care at this point. He's like, oh, let's just get this over with. Guys, do me a favor. We have 260 something people in here. If you would hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. I will gift a membership when we get to the next clip. All right.
2026.
That was interesting. So after they said that the medical examiner is going to release the report in this case, you see him look down. That's a chance for him to process, to disengage from everybody for a second and think about what was just said.
Release the report in this case. Forthwith.
Thank you.
The matter set in Department 105.
All right, let's go and wrap things up here. Hopefully this is helping you better understand.
All right, that's all we needed with Tim. Thank you, sir. It was better than just watching court without being able to see any of that. So let's take it to SF Investigates real quick. Now, we do have the documents, but I'm not going to sit here and bore y'all to death and just read documents because, well, I just don't feel like it. But let me just show you, and thank you, Tiff, for getting me the document. Let me show you real quick. I'm just gonna scroll down through it, and then we'll explain and get to SF Investigates, etc. Look at this guy. Look at this guy coming in hot with 10 guilty of crime memberships. Thank you, sir. All right, so I do have the document and I do have the slides. It's really hard to see because I put it as a PDF. Thank you so much, FloJo. You guys, please do thank FloJo TV if you received a membership. All right, so I got the felony complaint with all of the legal jargon in it. And instead of doing that, we're going to do something else to explain it. All right, so there are the documents. It's really small. And I can't read it from this way anyway. I'd have to put it as a different image. So I'm going to pull that down. I'm not going to do that. Let's get here. We will get into them. All right. Thank you so much, Flojo. Legally retired. I found my way. Wait, you had a different name before. All right. Listen, guys, here are a few thoughts from SF Investigates. I want you guys to realize that SF Investigates, Steve Fisher, has done a lot of the legwork in this case, and he's brought us information that we would have no idea without him. So I'm just going to read this. First, it's alleged that on or about April 23rd, 2025, in LA County, David Anthony Burke committed the crime of murder. Now, that's exactly on the date. April 23rd, 2025 is when they believe she took her last breath. Count 3 further alleges that on or about May 5th in Los Angeles, David committed the crime of unlawful mutilation of human remains. That makes me think that the Santa Barbara trip likely had nothing to do with the actual act of murder or dismemberment. All right. The sex crime charges appear to cover the period between September 7th, 2023 and September 7th, 2024, which would correspond to the time when Celeste was 13 years old. And that will give more serious sentencing for those circumstances. Guys, he's already going to get bad circumstances for mutilating a body. Now, Steve Fisher says, I've reached out to the medical examiner since the court is authorizing the unsealing of the autopsy report and the ME investigation report. Now, the medical examiner has its own investigators who have jurisdiction over the body itself when a death occurs. So their findings will be important and should be part of the records that are released. Hashtag Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Guys, this is bigger than her. So please say a prayer, drop a like, drop a comment for Celeste. Get this in the algorithm. She needs the coverage and it's bigger than her. This is letting people know that you can't come on here and just start grooming our children because you have money and taking them away and using and abusing them and then killing them because you have money. Because nowadays, the most random people get a ton of money. You get some 19-year-old kid on YouTube, and I'm not even talking about David, anybody else, or Mr. Beast that started 10 years ago as nothing and now is in trouble, but he has so many millions, it doesn't matter. We need to send a message out. I'm in California, and that happens in California quite a bit. Hollywood. So we put her in the freezer then later on. That's what I think. I absolutely think that because there's no way otherwise. All right. So just real quick, you guys can see the count 1. That's the actual murder in violation of penal code, whatever. Malice forethought. So he planned it. It was premeditated is what they're saying. All right. And it's further alleged that Celeste Rivas was intentional and was carried out by the defendant, David, for financial gain, meaning he didn't want to mess up his career that was just kicking off. He didn't want to be labeled as a pedo. We saw that earlier in the document or in the clip where people were saying, add David to the Epstein list. Guys, they were already investigating him. It's further alleged that the penal code was a witness to a crime and intentionally killed because of that fact. So her being a witness, in my opinion, is the case against him. And there's other children coming forward that he had been doing sexual stuff with. All right. It's further alleged that the big M word was committed by him and intentionally killed the victim by laying in wait, which he was waiting for. He set it up and he attacked. All right. So then this is on or about what happened and the different charges and legal jargon. All right. And then on May 5th in County of Los Angeles, the crime unlawful mutilation of human remains. That's the third count in violation of health and safety code section, David, who did willfully and unlawfully mutilate remains to be human, specifically the remains of Celeste. All right. They are being very methodical about the way that they're stating this stuff. So please do understand that. All right. And then let's do this. Good to see you guys. I'm so glad you're here because we need justice for Celeste. And I think getting the word out there and people understanding the process and understanding that these charges are not a joke But this guy does. I just found him today and I put him I subscribed. He's also inside of the description. So if you Trap More Ross, he has 446,000 subscribers. No worries. But if you want to find him, he's in my description. Gotta go with this guy. Got to. All right. And we'll get back to all the legal jargon, but we want to see what happened in order for them to get all that legal jargon, right? Right. Let's go.
Down everything that is going on with this situation that basically we didn't have this before. All right. We've been waiting for this, but I'm delighted. I'm not going to lie. I'm delighted to be seeing this. So we now have the felony complaint filed in the Superior Court of California against David. And it's got a lot.
Now, if I could be honest with you guys, I thought until I saw the charges that were charged against him and the circumstances, I thought it was an accident maybe, or I thought it was like an OD gone wrong and he was fantasizing, so he did what he did. But no, it's bigger than that. And when you hear the messages, the breakup type of messages and things like that, and the intentional use of certain things at his concert, guys, it's not looking good for him. All right, you watch him. Yeah, he's great. All right, let's continue. We're not going to do too much legal jargon because I want you to know what happened to get to this.
More details on his charges. There's not
a great detail. I'm not going to go over them again.
Witness. You killed.
There's not. So here,
invited her to his crib.
He killed a witness, invited her to the crib. They were already watching him. They already knew she was a runaway, and his dumb self took her out.
That fact, because they were apparently investigating David for his relationship with the minor. Yes. She was already a witness of that crime. This is just making the crime even more serious. You killed a witness. You killed a witness to an investigation as to whether you were a PDF. That's no good. That's no good, buddy. Okay. So it's further alleged that the murder of Celeste was committed by David and he intentionally killed the victim by means of lying in wait. And what I'm hearing is that he actually invited her to his crib. There's a rumor going around on Reddit that basically what is going on is that David was threatened by Celeste to be exposed as a PDF file. And he basically said, okay, bet.
Oh, it's not a rumor. When you hear the calls, you'll know exactly what happened. Celeste said, you played me. Basically, she's saying, you played me. You had sex with me. You played mind games with me. Celeste wasn't the average 7th grader, okay? But he did groom the shit out of her, and she needs justice. Yeah, shake my head, Kira. Good to see you, Ebony. Always a pleasure. All right, let's continue. He's going to get the book. Oh, yes. I hope so. I'm in California, so I'm just really excited that they went that hard on him. All right. Pedos need to be afraid.
Come to the crib. I don't know if he said, oh, it's all good. We squashed the beef. Come over. But he invited her to the crib under false pretenses, allegedly, knowing that he would murder her. And he was lying in wait with his little knife or whatever it was he used to kill her, and then invited her over, lured her into a trap, lying in wait, even more cooked than we thought. So
yep, even more cooked than we thought.
It's also believed, now this is where we start to get to see stuff that we hadn't seen in the months prior. It's further alleged that in the commission and attempted commission of the above offense, the said defendants, David Anthony Burke, personally used a deadly or dangerous weapon to wit a sharp.
And we're getting into that now. We're going to show the actual knife. I was going to bring mine on, and I was like, I don't want people to, it's YouTube. Some of you remember me from back in the day when I covered the Delphi case, and I actually brought my 9mm and gave you guys a little session. I didn't know YouTube didn't like that. And Honey Bun, I couldn't be happier for his dumb self to have done that. I really couldn't be happier. I'm not happy that he killed Celeste, obviously, but I'm glad that they were investigating him, and he had no idea. He was out there just telling the whole world. Proud mom of 2 girls. You're here. You're just on time. All right, let's continue.
Instrument said use not being an element of the offense above within the meaning of penal code, causing the above to be a serious felony. So basically it's saying a sharp instrument. Pop was in. A sharp instrument.
It could have been a samurai sword, but I got to tell you, Mystery Melissa, the way he hacked her apart indicates differently, and I'll explain why. And again, I am a weapon collector. All right. I have swords. I have knives. I have lots of weapons. I collect knives, swords, and guns. All right. I'm a collector. So I know what would do what to what. And I'm going to tell you right now, he ripped her apart like it was like you were outside and you hadn't eaten in a year, just ripping apart, trying to get it. He ripped her to shreds. And if it was a samurai sword, it wouldn't have been like that. I'll tell you. And again, I have props. I can show you. I can go get them out and show you what I'm saying, but I'll let him do that instead. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I collect weapons, man. What can I say? I'm a collector. All right, let's continue. He hacked her apart and dismembered her with a sharp object. That's all. But she was tore apart like an animal, is what they said.
Was basically used. Sounds like a knife. Could be something else. And that makes it even more serious. He wasn't shooting. It wasn't shooting someone from across the street. Oh, shit, I shot him by accident. He got busy with the knife like the UK drillers, okay? He actually got up close and personal with a sharp instrument, making this an even more heinous and egregious crime that it's just shocking that he would even have it in him to go and do that to somebody. So we got that, all right? And so
what I can say about her parents, though, honey bun, the only thing I can say about her parents is I'm very grateful that Celeste's parents did go to law enforcement and file a missing person report and tell them where she was. Now, they had control of her phone, which would tell them where, and they knew that she had left with David for the last time she was ever seen because she told her brother, I'm going to a movie with David, and she never returned. So the family related that, and law enforcement was already building a case. Then he killed her. All right. So that's the only thing I can say about the family. They were supposed to make a statement yesterday, and they derped out. So bad. So bad. You're going to see why she went back, Angel Kisses. When after we get past this knife part, you're going to hear the messages, and you're going to hear David's calling her. He's the one calling, even though they're broke up, because they broke up off and on. He's calling her, and she's like, I love you. How come you don't hold my hand anymore? Mind you, this little girl was 13, 11, 12, 13, and 14. All right. When he was grooming and doing the unthinkable with her. So keep that in mind when you listen to those messages.
So this is where we start to get a little bit more information. And again, some of you might have already known this. Okay, I'm a mess. I've just rolled out of bed today. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually feel absolutely frazzled today. Anyway.
I'm going to give some memory.
So this actually says on or between September the 7th, 2023 and September the 7th, 2024. And bear in mind, this is her birthday. Okay. In the LA County, the crime of continuous sexual abuse was committed by David Anthony Burke. He unlawfully engaged in 3 and more acts of substantial sexual conduct, 3 or more lewd and lascivious acts with a child under the age of 14 years old. Absolutely cooked. Okay.
Am I saying lascivious wrong? Because everybody else has said it weird. It's the lewd and lascivious acts, right? Every person that has said that has said it different than me. And I'm like, did I say that right? Lewd and lascivious. Let me know, Clark. You're good with all that. Is it lewd and lascivious or what? Kira, I'm a parent. Let me tell you, it's a hard job. I just hate the fact that she kept running away. Not all runaways are running from danger. They simply want to do what they want. And Kira, I'm glad you waited and all that, because I was just about to say that about Celeste. When you hear these messages, I don't think that her parents could have kept her home even if they locked her up and put a ball and chain on her. She was going to do what she was going to do. So you're right about that. I wish the parents would have stepped in with the law and put her in juvenile hall or did something to let her know you can't run away. You run away again, bitch, and you're going to be in juvenile hall without me, without your boyfriend with money. That's what I would have did. But you can't. You can't lock your children up. You can't spank them. You can't hit them. You can't do shit. The only thing you do is talk to them and try to talk them into the way you see it. That's it. That's all. All right. Thank you. I'm a parent too. I got a 26-year-old and 11-year-old. All right. Synth. Oh, you're good with that too. Lascivious. Lewd and lascivious. Yeah, it's weird. All right, let's continue. I have kids. I know.
Absolutely cooked. Serious felony. He will be required to register on the sex offenders register. He will be, if he's convicted of this, 100%. He will be subjected to court order AIDS blood tests. That's how serious the crime that you've committed.
There it is, guys. Okay, there it is. Are you here still? Thank you, Clark. Where did Wolfpack go? That's it right there. They talked about AIDS because what they're talking about is the fact that he's sleeping with her, he's sleeping with him, he's sleeping with her, she's sleeping with him, he's sleeping with her, him, and them. All right, that's how serious it is. So Wolfpack, they just talked about the AIDS, about AIDS and testing for HIV. All right, and he'll go on to explain about sleep with this and I mean, you get anything, but that's one of the things they have to test for now.
It is that we've got to monitor your blood because you're such a fucking danger to the community that we now have to court order monitor your blood because you're such a disgusting piece of shit, and we can't have you subjecting your disgusting DNA to anyone else. That's how serious this is. And then it says on or about May the 5th. So this is very, very interesting, and I don't think I've seen people pick up on this. They think that the date that the mutilation of the remains happened was on May the 5th, 2025. On May the 5th, in the county of Los Angeles, the crime of unlawful mutilation of human remains in violation of the Health and Safety Code, Section 7052. I bet David wasn't even thinking about that Health and Safety Code when he was allegedly slicing up this body. All right? He unlawfully and will.
And I got to tell you guys something else. That house has a ton of forensic evidence, in my opinion. Not only that house, but the other little cottage place that he called. Thank you so much, Positive Vibes, for the $2 pounds. Thanks for your coverage, keeping us up to date. Well, thank you guys. I couldn't do it without you. Diddy had to do it too. The video showing her running away was the last day. Yes, that was the last day they ever saw her alive again. And she told her brother she was going to the movies with David. It's not like she ran away. It's like David kept saying, come back. And then there's a point where he said, don't come back. In my opinion, she said, fine, then I'm going to tell that you're raping kids. Done. And he said, oh, no, honey, I changed my mind. Come to my house. And then he set the plan up. And I mean, they're really specific here about the date that they think he dismembered her. So they've got to have evidence, flesh pieces, blood, all the stuff that you see at a crime scene has got to be in one of those spots. All right. It's got to be because he hacked her up like a freaking animal. All right. I remember seeing David taking his so-called vitamins. I think he was taking antipsychotic. Probably something is really wrong with him. He basks in. And when I heard all this about him going on tour and the things we're going to get to, I was like, because I was only listening to like the court stuff and the legal jargon. But when you start looking at the reality of the things that he did and the people he interacted with, this guy's a weirdo and a pedo. All right.
Fully mutilated the remains known to be human, the remains of Celeste. Now, this is really interesting because the rumor is that he killed her on April the 25th. Apparently, he didn't try and mutilate the body until May the 5th. So it was a couple of weeks. That's dark. That's super, super messed up. So basically, this is the felony complaint, right? It's formal. He's cooked. He's eligible for a 187, so that's a homicide. He's eligible for life without parole or death at the state prison. So he's got life without parole and death on the table 3 times.
And this is serious.
Plus 1 year in the state prison. And then over here, for the other charges that he's got, he's potentially facing 6 to 12 to 6.
Guys, make sure your gifted memberships are on, especially when you're at guilty of crime. All right. We give away a ton of memberships every day. We give away memberships every single day, Monday through Friday. Let's be real. All right. So if you got a membership, then I'm just thanking you for being here. Oh yeah. Do you guys even know about his parents? His dad is like some preacher and it's crazy. All the other stuff is crazy. That's all I gotta say. It's great. It's mind blowing. And the reason I didn't want to read these charging documents also is because I can't interact with you guys when I'm reading. So
16 in the state prison or 6 2 to 1. He's cooked. He's cooked. He might be getting the death penalty. So all of this has been reported on now. This paperwork that I've got for you here. This is up in TMZ. Prosecutors say David killed her with a sharp instrument. So we're now getting the news that these charging documents. What's really interesting is it says he mutilated the body on May the 5th. Interesting about those dates. Authorities said that David took a mysterious trip to Santa Barbara, and that could align with the May 5th date. And the DA claims that the dismembered and decomposing body was left in the Tesla for 4 months. Okay.
Hey, you guys, please say welcome to Miss Caddy. I'm just going to go with Miss Caddy. Hello and welcome to Guilty of Crime. Thank you for being here. And I hope that you make sure you hit the notification so you know when I'm coming. And it is Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. California time, Pacific time, or 7 p.m. Eastern. So thank you. Holly Weird is right. All right. Mine is on. Did you get one? All right, let's continue.
So they basically are seemingly saying that they can prove that he was having sexual relations with her between September the 7th, when that was her 13th birthday.
Me too.
So he
I
linked
learned
up
more
with her
than I
when she
want
turned
to.
13 from 12. He said, let me wait till you're 13. Despicable. And it's saying that that relationship continued for a year when she then turned 14. Now, she lost her life before she turned 15. And it basically says, it's not to say the DA isn't saying that the sexual activity ended then, but I'm guessing that's when they can prove that this was going on. And now we've got the 4K high resolution mugshot. So I'm going to be updating the fact.
He's not so confident now, is he? I want you to see the deer in headlights. He looks like a squirrel that's running across the street and you almost hit somebody. Now, I also want to tell you, I want to interject for a second about somebody said, why would he put her body in his car? This is what I think happened. And I think that whoever was driving that car already flipped on him. I don't think David dropped that car off. I think he told his manager or one of his friends, and now it hadn't decomposed yet. If he had her frozen, then it was already in the trunk. And he said, hey, man, you guys remember he was on tour. So, hey, man, I need you to park that away from the house for whatever lie he made up. Steve Fisher knows who was driving that car. They have video of who dropped the car off, but they're not naming anyone else in the case. And the reason I believe that is because they're testifying against him. They're going to say, I didn't know there was a body in there. He asked me to move the car because whatever reason, he was on tour. I did it for him. All right. But it definitely, I'm like 75% sure that it wasn't him that dropped her off, but it was his car. He does look sickly. He looks gross. He doesn't get to have his pimple patches anymore. No more chapstick for them lips, buddy. What's up with your hair? No more fades, no more braids. Aw, ain't that too bad?
Sheen on him. He's looking stressed. Okay, I didn't even know they had these. They must have taken this with a seriously high quality camera. Thank God for that. But so basically, what's really interesting, right? Everybody is now speculating that this sharp instrument was a knife. And David was flexing a knife many times.
On Twitch, but
you saw him flexing knives.
Bro, look at this knife I got, bro.
Can I hear this?
Guys, I also want you to understand that if you wanted to after this, you could go to Reddit and go look up the David. I got that stream R and then / David idiots. Oh my God, there's so much information on there. This guy lays out his entire life. He might as well just plead guilty. In one of these that he's filming, Celeste's bag is there, like her purse. All right. So just watch out for this. Everything. And no, I can't. That law enforcement described it. And I hear that a dead body, especially one that's decomposing, is something you could never unsmell. This Bay Area cold rain. I know it is. What's up, Allie? You're in the Bay Area right now? All right, let's continue. David owned nothing in his name, no house, no property. His bitch ass had no other choice but to store her body there. Plus, he was afraid of potential inspection. Thank you, Flojo. Flojo's been covering the crap out of this case. Go sub up to him and find out what he knows. He knows a lot more than I do about this case.
Chrome me. Are you? I don't even know if you're allowed to show knives on Twitch, but bro, look at this knife I got, bro.
What?
Chromium, chromacopia. Oh, you said don't show it? You can't.
Guys, I actually have that knife. There's certain brands, okay? And I was going to get this. The podcaster's in the description, Norma. I can't remember his name right now, but I showed you guys earlier and it's in the description. So, if you're a collector of anything, if you're a gun collector, then you know you have a preference to Smith & Wesson or a Glock or, a 280 or an AR-15, what have you. All right? So knife collectors know what knives are. I don't think he really knew, like he was in about the brand or any of that. But I do got to say he was fascinated. It was Trap Moros. Thank you, Flojo. All right. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same exact knife. And I was going to give you guys a little tester, but yeah, Sig Sauers, all that. I mean, you know, if you know, you know. All right. So let's continue so we can get through this.
I can't. Are you for real?
This is part of the sadistic stuff.
You lying. You lying. You lying. You lying.
Well, it's a good thing that David likes knives, because I think he might be running into a few interesting makeshift knives in the county. Okay, I got a knife too, David. It's all right. It's good. I ain't going to use it to murder a minor. But I might be running into a few makeshift knives and shanks and toothbrushes when he touches down in the county, and I'll be talking to you about that in the next video. But people are saying, could this be part of the sadistic stuff?
Now, listen, and it didn't have to be that particular knife, but I got to tell you right now, Gigi and everybody else, I'm pretty sure it was some kind of pocket knife, and it was some kind of pocket knife that's not much bigger than your hand. The blade wasn't that long, and the way it came out was like, it's almost like a switchblade, which you're not supposed to have in California. So here's the thing, is that if you were to use a knife that a little bit bigger than this, maybe like this big, you can't just saw through somebody like you could with a samurai sword. If you take a watermelon and you put the samurai sword through it, it'll just go right through it like butter. But when you have a knife that's only like, let's just say it's like this big. Let's say the knife is this big. I don't think it was that big, but let's just say it is. You have to literally sit there, and once you cut, there's going to be bone and flesh and blood. You have to literally like tear it apart. That just doesn't do it. It's not going to dismember someone with a freaking pocket knife. All right. Thank you, Clore. 100 people, please hit that like button. Thanks. Yeah, we have 260 people in chat, guys, and it's free to do so. Thank you. All right, let's continue.
PI uncovered at his house. This was 6 months ago. What was David doing with an OTF knife? OTF.
OTFs are awesome.
OTF like Dirk and them. This is crazy. Okay, and now they're updating this. They're saying prosecutors say Celeste died by a sharp instrument. It's crazy. So Steve Fisher would share images of David with the knife apparently after New Year's on 2025.
Again.
And it seems to be the same knife. There it is. Okay.
Oh no, he hacked her apart, Flojo. I don't know if you're saying if we're talking about that correctly, but we don't even know her manner of death other than homicide. The way that it was explained is that her body was ripped apart like a pack of wolves with a sharp instrument. So let's say I come into the house and just grab any sharp instrument. Maybe it's a kitchen knife. That is not going to let you dismember somebody with that. So multiple wounds is an understatement. All right. He's a monster, period. That's an understatement. I would say he spent hours cutting her apart and ripping through her. And yeah, there's no way a regular knife would do that unless you do this, which they said it was like her arms were ripped off. Her head was ripped off. There wasn't a neckline. He did whatever he could. When you only got something like that's that big to cut, you can only go so far, and then the rest. I mean, it's trigger warning to think about it, but I got to tell you, that's a bottom line. All right. That's a bottom line. Oops. Almost. All right. Here we go.
Could that be the murder weapon? I wonder if David had other knives, other sharp instruments, but he appeared to have a little bit of an interest in this knife. He had a little obsession with this knife. So that's really, really interesting. And now everybody is sort of going back and digging in to basically a lot of posts that David made on the day of the alleged murder. Now, I think
I
could do that. I could do that in another video. Okay, here's what I'm going to do.
Now, thank you for bringing up Shabusiness, because Shabusiness did that too. Taylor Shabusiness. And I got to tell you, I've seen the video of what she did. Now, one of my buddies that I work with I don't know where he finds this stuff, but he finds it and he shares it with me. And oh my God, Wolfpack, what Shabusiness did to, I can't even remember his name right now, but she literally hacked him apart like that too. And then she got tired. All right. So I saw what I actually saw the leg being cut through and sawed. Like I see all that sometimes because my friend shares all this true crime crap with me. And you don't want to see it. You don't need to see it, but it makes you understand when they talk about her body into pieces with a knife and ripped apart. It makes you understand what happened. It says, were you thinking about how it looked and sounded when you sawed her body in pieces?
No, let's do it. Let's do it in this video. So there's some TikToks that David made on the day of the alleged murder. Okay. And what's really interesting is that in this one, this is the first TikTok David posted on the day of the murder. Right? Oh, no. We're not letting this guy get another cent. So he put this out on the day of the murder, and a lot of people are pointing.
Okay, keep that in mind because he is pointing out dates. So some people are like, I wonder when this, I wonder. We are talking about that. And they do have specific dates narrowed down for specific things. All right, this is the day she was murdered that they allege, but her purse is right there in the background, guys. This guy is dumber than he looks. Oh, yeah, she was tortured. You see the charges, right? Mutilated a corpse, guys.
Get out. That's Celeste's handbag in the corner.
Look at that.
So she pulled up.
Right there.
Was this before, after, or during the commission of this heinous crime?
Look,
now, what's really interesting, if you watch this clip.
Oh, sorry, hold on.
He's just celebrating. My album drops tomorrow. Yay. Your prayers have been answered. What was that, though? What was that? Hang on. Is that something, a little scar on his hand, maybe? People are saying that there's a notable mark on his hand, and it could be a common injury that people get when they're stabbing people. It's not easy to stick a knife. It's not.
Nope.
It's not easy to stick that inside somebody, all right? That's hard.
And see, I'm glad he's doing this because I'd rather not do that. All right. But I was going to do the same thing and show you. And I'm like, let this guy. And by the way, I thought I put this in the description, but I guess I didn't. So I'll drop it down there. It's at Trap More Ross. All right. And then I'll give you the link if you guys want to go sub up to him.
Oh, you got to get leverage. You got to get leverage. You might have to get leverage in your palm.
Yep.
And
most
get it in there. You might catch a little injury. You might get.
Now, listen, most knife attacks or knife fights or anything that you do with the knife, especially if you're attacking someone in a situation and trying to defend yourself or kill them, typically you injure yourself. There's almost no way to get around a knife attack where something doesn't jam into your hand and cut you or your knuckles. It's just what it is. David's Twitch account also got banned today. Yes, cancel David. Yeah, her purse is left back there. Isn't that crazy? And I don't know about how you turn it on, but I know you do. All right, let's continue. At Trap More Ross.
Caught by this little pointy bit on the end of the knife if you got one of those, okay? Now look, I'm a real South London knife man like that. So, you know, you might spot some of these things. Looks like there's a little mark on his hand. Let me zoom in for you guys just so we can see the evidence, all right? Has he carved a little cross into his hand? Is that an injury? Is that a bruise? It's his right hand, or is that his left hand? That could be his left hand, actually.
In the description.
This is backwards. Anyway, interesting, right? What's going on with him? What's going on with that? And he's doing all this on the day of the murder. Insanity. What is wrong with this guy? He's gonna be doing that pose quite a lot in the county for sure. That yes. One, he's county ready, LA County Jail ready with that one. But you know, there's more clips of him sort of allegedly on the day of the murder, the days following it, on TikTok doing his thing. My album is out. Let's go. Let's go. The album's out. See, this is a bit closer. Yep. I don't know if this is carved in or if this is a tattoo. A cross is a bit weird. All right. Is that a cross? Is that a funeral? Is that headstone kind of vibe? Is it a mark on his hand that he's kind of drawn around? Because that little bit in the middle,
I saw that and I was like, dude, that's a cut right there, guys. If I had to bet, I'd be betting on that's a cut from holding the knife and doing it. Just happens. Like sometimes when I cut too many things up when I'm cooking, I've cut my hand on it. All right. So he did that and then he just like, oh, we'll just make it into a cross so it doesn't look like that. Yeah, he is nasty and weird. All right. Yep. He's ready. He's booty ready. Do not give this man Vaseline or any kind of lube. Make him go dry.
Not gonna lie, that bit in the middle looks like you was holding a knife with it, the leverage in your palm, with a little leverage in your palm like that, and it hurt. And you got a red mark in the middle of your hand from the knife.
Hell
and then
yeah.
you drew or you etched a little cross around it to try and make it look cool, try and cover up. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. Creepy, all right? This guy is a weirdo. And there's more examples. All of this around these days. Okay. Look at him go. Said, was Afterlife a good outro for the album? I don't know. I really love it, though. And again, we're seeing all this shit on his hand.
He is a weird dude. And I don't like his music either.
He's showing that off. He's showing that off. This is just my opinion, but I think he got an injury from the stabbing and then he tried to cover it up and make it look like some cool little thing.
Yep.
Honestly, that's what I think he was doing. This guy's tapped. Okay.
I mean, if you notice on his forehead, it's like he always gets a pimple right there. So when you see him in public or you see him on, not public, but like on social media, he always has those pimple patches on that spot. And when you see that spot, you can tell that it's a recurring thing. It's a recurring one that comes back. All right. You guys know with the little star, he's like, I got a pimple. It'll be cool if I just put it on. All right. Whoa, person in the background. Yeah. And hand slips, man. If you're trying to do something with a knife like that to that extent, you're not going to not get an injury, period. All right. While he's doing all this, Celeste, yes. That day, that was a day that he cut her up, is what they're saying.
So 2 days later, his Withered album is released. And again, Withered, talking about withered, what withered like a decaying corpse.
Thank you.
And this song, Afterlife, was included. And this is the song that he broke down crying. And I read the lyrics of this the other day. Now, this song, I believe, was recorded, or at least versions of it were shown before the Celeste murder took place. But these lyrics are dark. And for this to come out within a few days of the alleged murder is chilling. It said, something's missing from inside of me. Someone stole what wasn't mine. The devil told me you were good for me. My mother told me he would lie. Yep. What doesn't kill you waits for later. What tries to keep you alive fails. I thought a girl would make me happy, but real love is not for sale. So I'll buy what I can as I try to pretend something else is making me cry when you cross the line. I'm still by your side. I crossed it with you. What, like the cross on your hand? And when I die, you're holding the knife. Is he talking from Celeste's? Is he?
Yeah, this guy's great. Like, I just ran across his video today. Again, it's at Trap More. Something like it's in the description now. And it's like, this is great. I can interact with you guys and not have to switch back on Reddit and TikTok, which I don't normally use as a source. But in this case, it's perfect because he's the celebrity, right? And he filmed everything. Yeah, it is. And he's about to cry. When he sings this song, look, we'll keep going.
He talking from Celeste's perspective. I'll love you from the afterlife, from the afterlife. What good is walking on water with a sinking feeling? What good is a kiss without meaning? It won't stop me from bleeding. Is he talking about his hand? What good is walking on water with a sinking feeling? I think he's saying with this one, it's like, what good is being a millionaire celebrity with billions of streams if I am walking around with a sinking feeling because I know I've committed murder? That's what I think he's saying. But anyway, the album would include the voice recorded conversations with Celeste. This is going to cook him. I wonder what the
this is
prosecutors are going to say.
I'm going to try not to stop too much on this, but he used Celeste's voicemails to make his music, right? Like breakup voicemails. All right. So yeah, he's great. I love the research that he's doing. I try to stay away from Reddit and TikTok unless I have to. But listen, guys, I was doing my research for you guys earlier, and I heard a song, and I was like, dude, this song sucks. And then I heard a little girl's voice, and I was like, is that what I thought it was? So I kept digging, and I found this video. Sure enough. All right, let's listen up. This is Celeste Rivas, and I'm sure prosecution is going to use this. Remember, they have terabytes. Now, Flojo, I don't know if you told them in chat, if you were able to say how many terabytes, but they've got terabytes to go through, like a lot. I bet they have more videos. Yep, you got that right, Amber. I'm sure they do.
But when that Withered album came out, David couldn't disclose he used the voicemail recordings for obvious reasons, but these were allegedly voicemails of Celeste that were included.
I'm so stupid right now, but like I've been so selfish and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how it's affecting like everything. I just wanted to say I'm sorry.
Thank you. She's
I really
apologizing.
am sorry. I tried.
So the thing is, it gives a motive too, because she's talking about how sorry she is. What did she do? What did she do to him?
I mean, guys, this is exactly what grooming is. Okay, you should not have a 13-year-old little girl like that for a grown man apologizing to you, and the mind games that he plays with her are outrageous. All right, 40 terabytes. Now, this is the world we live in 2026. Everything is on camera. Everything is recorded. And then to top it off, this guy was on social media 24/7. All right, 40 terabytes is a shit ton. But you got to remember, he was making music and doing CSAM stuff, etc. All right? All right, let's continue. Yeah, we don't normally like send people to other channels that we're not using. So yes, Rotten Mango's cool, but it's not, it's a much different style.
Make him fly off the handle.
You're special, David. I got a question.
What's the question?
Why don't you hold my hands anymore?
Oh, here we go again, bro.
Nah, I'm so serious.
Bro,
I'm so serious. Like,
all right, continue.
I haven't held your hand.
And
Shoot.
Sorry.
Like, you're not funny. I swear you're not funny.
I'm done.
All right, let me think.
But it's at the time.
It could have been yesterday. It could have been
yesterday. Wow, yeah. I'm glad you remember that. I'm glad.
Period.
Yeah, I hate when you say period, man. All right. I got a question for you now.
Okay.
Why do you think we met? Yeah. Why do you think we met?
Well, I think personally, have you ever heard of the invisible strength theory?
Oh yeah.
Exactly that. So basically, we met because we were supposed to meet.
The invisible string theory. A 13-year-old girl, we don't know how old she was at the time, is telling a grown-ass mother-trucking man, he's asking her this question on why we met. Straight up gaslighting the shit out of her. Playing mind games with her. This is what pisses me off the most, that he did this to her and then he killed her. Like, if you're going to play with her like a toy, at least fucking keep her. At least keep her as a toy in the background. Shit. Damn, man. It pisses me off. You can tell. This was inevitable, I guess.
Okay.
And we're connected because we're supposed to be connected. It's kind of like that, I loved you before I existed and I love you even when I die. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, like, it's weird, it's strange, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
So don't leave me.
No, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right.
Don't leave me.
I love you.
He doesn't say it back.
I love you. You're the one calling my phone.
You've been dead.
Sounds like he's saying you've been dead. What?
You're the one calling my phone.
You've been dead.
Calling me.
Been dead.
Please.
So you've been dead.
Been dead.
Why are you calling me? Why are you calling me? Say you're sorry. I didn't want to go.
Does anyone know what that actually says? Flojo TV might. You know everything about this case. Mab, what's up? I know. Those are torturing. That's like he toyed with her and tortured this poor girl, guys. She was a little girl. Guys, put this in perspective. She was in 7th grade. All right. Do you remember what you were doing in 7th grade? I do. I was being a kid. Maybe I went to school dances sometimes, but I sure as hell wasn't talking with grown men and letting them pass me around like he did with her. I was just curious if you thought it said something else, because I don't know if it does say that or not. Just
and change the narrative and
been
say
dead.
Completely different. You gotta figure whatever you got going on. Figure that out.
Celeste.
Baby.
Creepy as hell. So this says David's deleted SoundCloud had first versions of the track that weren't fully released before his Withered album, and without any changes or tweaks in the songs, you can clearly hear Celeste's voice. Despite this, he didn't say or try to disclose who the person was for obvious reasons and not because of some copyright excuse. Because if you remember, I did a previous video where he's in an interview and they say, "Oh, who's the voice?" And he says, "I can't tell you for copyright reasons." And he pulls a mad weird face. As the songs share similar file types, suggesting he recorded these voicemails between early October 2024 and late November 2024, when he and Celeste were going through a breakup. This was also during the time he was actively making and shaping songs for his album. I wonder if they broke up in September 2024 and she was out of his life for a bit. Then she came back around. She was pictured with him and just.
I mean, you guys can see that she gets an attitude with him. She's not like a typical 7th grader. She's going toe to toe with him, even though she doesn't know or realize that he's grooming her or he groomed her and all this other stuff. Right? That was Celeste speaking, Deborah Brush. Yes, that was Celeste, and he used those in his music, in his tour. He used those voice messages. Now, he changed the sound a bit, of course. They didn't just play like that, but he freaking used her voice in his song that we were looking at the lyrics earlier. Yes, did you hear that? Why we met? Because the invisible string theory? No, he's a groomer. He's a pedophile. That's why you met him, because he preyed on you. I know, she did not know any better. I agree.
December and January. And then maybe, you know, she was threatening him, saying, I'm going to reveal what's going on. And he said, all right, come up, pull up. It says, David most likely used her in multiple situations that caused her to be hurt and mistreated, because in these songs, Celeste was blaming herself for the wrongdoings and David was truly manipulating her emotions. So people are saying, I think Celeste figured him out. She began to see what he really was. Then she felt she had to get away. He told her in the live feed, I media trained you. She did not seem to like the statement he made to her. And as he knew he was in trouble with that live feed with the R-ing kids statement, she knew, and I feel she had to leave a clue. Someone had to hear and suspect there was something not right with the panic to delete all the VODs. At that point, he made a decision. But thankfully, those files are still available, a digital footprint.
Yeah, I do think absolutely. I think Celeste knew she was a witness. And you got to remember, when you're a kid in 7th grade, breakups feel like the end of the world. Okay. At some point, I believe she absolutely knew she was a witness, because her parents had called law enforcement for her running away and then coming back. So there's a point where I do believe she talked with law enforcement and let them know about David and what was going on. I bet you when it comes out, we're going to find out Celeste knew she was going to be a witness. That's what I got to say about that. Yeah, David has a little boyfriend thing, a little boo thing, but his boo thing turned on him. All right. So many predators, especially in Hollywood. I don't know why they like little kids, man.
Is forever locked in his devices. How stupid and sick is this kid to immortalize her voice in his songs, when if someone from her family comes forward with an audio recording of her voice, they can prove it's her and her record label. How can they allow this? There should be a lawsuit against them for unauthorized use. The family might be getting some money out of that. Okay. I think it's really interesting, that voicemail where she's literally telling him to leave her alone. And in that song, you can hear her say, you keep getting new phones and calling me. And then she says, you got to figure out whatever's going on with you.
Yes.
Could be speculation, but it sounds like he might.
Celeste was a witness turned victim. Law enforcement was already investigating David for being a PDF file. What do they call? Yes, she was going to be a witness, not just for herself, but for other girls. You guys saw the video I pulled up where it says graping girls, right? Hold on, let me just, I'll put up one more time just because, I mean, this says it all. And then people turned on him. Wait, what did I do with that one? Let me play this and I'll find it.
Might have done something that really scared her. People saying, I 100% agree. She was afraid. And when he knew she was not having any part of his fetish lifestyle, she wanted to remove herself. She could have been at the second house and he was at the Beverly Hills mansion. He knew he had to act. He was losing her, then possibly late in the night. Just my opinion. Okay. So less than a week after the alleged incident on April 27th, 2025, that's when David was actually discussing these snippets that were used in his song Invisible String Theory. Again,
connected. I want everything to feel holistic and have a through line that everybody could understand. And with the interlude, it's kind of explaining from my perspective how it was taught to me, because that's a real conversation that happened. And the irony of it was that person that was saying, I love you, she's not in my life anymore. So it's like, people say that the string.
This interview was posted on April 25th, 2025.
Now, mind you, this person he's talking about was Celeste. All right. Every 3 minutes of this just keeps getting worse. Oh my goodness. Sorry. If you look at the bottom, I say trigger warning, because at Guilty of Crime, sometimes we say stuff that other people might find offensive. Someone came in here yesterday, I think, and said, you had a really outrageous title to your case last week. I'm like, what? I just tell you what it is. If a girl's found dead in the bed, and we're going to prosecute. That's what I'm going to call it. So I don't try to be vulgar. I try to be respectful of the victims, and we need justice for Celeste. And that's why I want to make sure the whole story comes out. All right. From me anyway, what part I can do. She did. Yes. That's what I'm saying. That whole thing, you can tell she was being like, a little bit sassy. I'm going to show you and then I'll hop back on. I just want you guys to make sure you understand this. Celeste was a witness for the state turned victim. All right. They were already looking at David, not just for Celeste, but for other young children that he was what they call raping. And she says it right on this video.
That's controversial.
Hold on, let me go back.
It's controversial.
Trained you.
A media trained.
It's controversial of raping kids.
Raping kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my! Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes. Everything. I media trained you. That's controversial.
It's controversial of raping kids.
All right.
Really?
There's no way that's not going to be pulled out somewhere in the court. I mean, there's no way that wasn't being looked at already or what have you. That's right there is evidence. All right. So let's get back to it. I think she absolutely got jealous and she was going to break up with him and she used that against him. We heard her just say that right in front of him. So you don't think that she didn't want to be groomed. She didn't know what he was doing. Yep. You got it right. But she was only 13. So it's not even domestic abuse because she's a little kid. I mean, I guess it's domestic, but he is a grown man.
Days after.
It can't be cut and the connection cannot be severed. But I feel like it can sometimes. And that's why I wanted to put, Afterlife and all these songs that feel like endings and conclusions and goodbyes on the project to kind of solidify.
To solidify what? That you got her out here? Death? It's creepy, right? Fake intellect. And there's another interview from around the same time.
I mean, he was being sarcastic with her and she was sarcastic right back. He's like, I media trained you. And remember, media trained means that she was always covering her face. She always had a hood on. She always had to make sure they weren't holding hands in public. I mean, you heard that in the interview. How come you don't hold my hand anymore? Oh, you're going to go with that? A child can't consent. You're right. All right. But yes. And then she goes on to say, was this after her death? Yes, it was. It was. Are you talking about the music and the lyrics? I'm not sure which part, but yes, it happened before, then on the day of her death, and then after. All right, let's continue.
When he was just acting super creepy, okay? Remember this? People have resurfaced this one. He apparently said it's so beautiful to take someone's life and put it in a song.
It was just the most beautiful thing. And it's such a poetic thing to kind of be able to kind of take somebody's life and put that in a song and then have...
Creepy, right? Creepy. It says he was smirking because he actually seems to enjoy throwing breadcrumbs. I'm telling you, he wanted to be caught. In fact, he seemed to get frustrated at times that people were not picking up on what he was obviously throwing out. Other people saying he thought he wouldn't. I guarantee you, he thought manipulating and killing an innocent child made him Hannibal Lecter out here. He was getting off on being in the wild. I hope he never rests again, knowing the whole world sees him now. People saying exactly this. I don't know what his plans were, whether he knew he'd get caught eventually or thought he was smart enough to get away with it. But I just feel like his arrogance is undeniable through all of it.
Are you talking about where he said you're media trained? No, that came out way before any of this happened. They were just on TikTok and he's like, I media trained you. He got sassy and she got sassy back by saying what? Raping kids. So no, somebody in chat just said this hits different now that I know what happened. So when you see this before knowing this, leakage. It's absolutely, you got that right. Leakage. That's what I'm going to say. All right. Period. It hits different now that you know.
even taking it back to his messages, alluding and mocking his relationship with someone that young. None of it was of any concern to him. I watch true crime on true crime every day. I've heard it all, but this case makes me physically ill because of his behavior and reaction to it all. I've never felt such hatred to a case like this. He groomed that little girl who was in a fragile state. He isolated her, then he took her life and went on stage to perform to his young fans. Horrific. Okay. This is the same thing I've been saying. He wanted to be known for this all along with the other infamous killers. I just feel like he was too sloppy to try and be hiding it, and everything else lines up just right. Okay. And that same interview, he talks about being stabbed 9 times. Was it this one?
Watch.
And he said, I got all of them done at the same time. I guess tattoos. I thugged it out, dude. It was like getting stabbed 9 times. Well, because you quite literally got stabbed 9 times. But yeah, in that moment, he's talking about tattoos, I think. But anyway. He's talking about facial piercings. When was this film? May 9th, not long after they alleged she was killed and cut up, just a few days after allegedly dismembering her remains. He's going to love it when some fuck-ass Hollywood exec picks his story to be made into a movie in the future. Real psychopath. I don't for 1 minute believe that Celeste was his first murder. There might have been other victims. People say, I don't know about that. He botched this one so badly, it's hard for me to even see him as a seasoned killer. People say, not defending him, but he clearly stated before he would write songs about other people's experiences with love and stuff. He meant he literally takes someone's life, shit they went through, and put it in his music. 2 things can be true at once. That's what people are saying. But look, okay, this is crazy. So they believe they know what the murder weapon is. I wonder if they found that knife.
I mean, some people didn't even know who this was. I didn't know who this was before. So none of this meant anything to me, right? Looking at this and hearing somebody hearing someone in chat saying you're going to be put on the Epstein files. Guys, we didn't even know that law enforcement was already investigating him as a pedophile. All right. So we had no idea. But when you start looking back at these clips again, I'll show them again in a minute. We're about done with this.
He's cooked regardless, but I think the knife was used, and I think that was an injury on his hand. That's just my opinion. Okay, so let me know what you guys think.
I think it was too. You guys should definitely go sub up to this guy. All right, he's in the chat. He's in the description. Let's continue. We're not done yet. There's the timeline of it all. You got to remember, it goes back to 2022. Guys, we're in 2026, and this goes back to 2022, where David and Celeste met online. I told you earlier she was 11, almost 12, and they got matching tattoos, and they have Discord. Law enforcement has their Discord messages and their cell phone messages and their da-da-da-da-da-da. All right? It's crazy. Yeah, Trapmore Ross, thank you. It's in the description. What's up? Oh, yeah, 1976. How you doing? All right, so I did get that clip you sent me. Thank you. Where did it go? It's him being a weirdo, right? You sent me something in Instagram. Let me just put this on, and then I'll look for it. I can't. Can you send it to my email? You sent to my Instagram, but my Instagram does not pull up on my it doesn't pull up on my computer. So if you can email guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com, I will get back to you much faster than Instagram, which is like every 6 months I go on Instagram. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. Okay. Resurface clip. And then after that, let me do this. Let me do it in the right order real quick. Let me stop this. And I'm going to do it in the right order because earlier I did it out of sync. Hold on. Part 1 and part 2. Which one's part 1? This one's part 1. Okay. This is the first part. These are clips. This video was actually filmed. People were in chat. People were talking. All right. Oh, we're going to go over that. Okay. Listen, as soon as we're done with these clips, we're absolutely going over what lie in wait means and the premeditation. We're going to break all that down for you. We came here to break down the charges. Okay, so just give me a minute, and then I'm going to get to the charges next. I just didn't want to do a whole episode again like last week of all legal jargon. I am not a law tuber, and not even close, all right? And I get bored myself. I get bored when all they talk about is legal jargon, 8.1, right? So I will get to it, I promise. I had the same thoughts yesterday. I was like, I need to talk about this out loud. Tiff, answer the phone. I need to talk about this out loud. All right.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Watch. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. I media trained you. That's controversial.
It's controversial of raping kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my! Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes. Everything.
All right, so there she is. I mean, she's clearly showing her face here on purpose. Okay. All right. She wants to be seen. She doesn't want to be hiding. She wants to be the main chick. Now, right after this, when they're trying to delete it, it goes back to this one. And the people in chat start saying, nah, you going on the Epstein list, bro. People in chat are getting mad because she was 13 and he talked about raping other kids. So it wasn't just her.
Oh, wait. Pray for his career, chat. Are we done?
Yep.
We
need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too? Can we delete anything? You done for, bro? Y'all are not done? Now you gonna Epstein? Wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which one?
Like you can tell how little she is when they're literally talking about adding him to the Epstein list, and people are like, "We don't like pedos," and she's like, "Oh, answer the Instagram back," and she's clearly showing her face, by the way. And I couldn't tell if she flipped off the camera.
Which one?
No, she didn't. She pushed her glasses.
Let's do that big family. Bro, thank you, Mitch.
Look at her face.
Mitochondria.
I gotta sign with him if you even.
You gonna Epstein? Yo.
Yeah, she wanted to be seen, y'all. She wasn't worried about anything. She was too young to really even understand that she was being groomed, etc. All right. Thank you, Kim Wells, and all the new people. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. Now we're going to go over the legal analysis. All right. So we're going to break down the charges. Lying in wait is it's a harder circumstance than premeditated. We're going to explain why, but legally, there's special circumstances that they're adding to this. And one of those special circumstances is, in fact, lying in wait, which means it is premeditated, but drop the premeditated and just think, hey, Kim, or hey, Emma Clark, come on over. Then you see her walk in the house and she never leaves again. All right. And then they come in my house and find evidence. Maybe there's a tarp. Maybe there's blood here. Maybe whatever. Right. Thank you so much, Clark. Welcome, new crime crew. We're glad to have you here. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, my friend. And Just Random Productions, welcome. I'm a new subscriber. Love it. Well, thank you. Please keep coming back. We're here Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, every Friday, Monday through Friday. All right, let's continue. All right, we're going to get to the legal stuff now because I promised that, and I want to break it down even further so you're not walking away from this video and not understanding, because that's what I felt like yesterday. I didn't understand exactly what was happening, so I had to dive and figure it out. Okay, let's go.
David is facing first-degree murder charges in connection with the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Yesterday, David Anthony Burke appeared in court for the first time, pleading not guilty. Hernandez's dismembered body was found in the trunk of Burke's abandoned car last September. Now, prosecutors say they're confident they can prove he killed the 14-year-old girl, but his attorneys say evidence will show he didn't. ABC's Trevor Alt has the latest.
Harrowing new accusations against popular singer David, now charged with first-degree murder and sex crimes in the death of a 14-year-old girl.
A parent's nightmare is a situation where your daughter goes out one night and never comes back.
The LA District Attorney says the 21-year-old, whose real name is David Burke, had a months-long sexual relationship with that young girl, Celeste Rivas.
You know what's weird? Oh, they said months long. I thought they said a month. All right. And if you guys do have questions too in between this, I can certainly answer them for you. Like premeditated, guys. What's the difference? What's the difference between premeditated and deliberate? All right. What's killing is premeditated when you decide to kill someone before acting on it. All right. The defendant weighed the decision showing deliberation. So it's part of premeditation with special circumstances. All right. So premeditated means that you listen, you decided to do it before, even if it's only moments before. Let's say you strangle someone. That takes 3 to 5 minutes. You have 3 minutes or 2 minutes to stop. Okay. That's premeditated. Now, lying in wait is an aggravated first-degree murder, but it's a special circumstance. It means it's more than premeditation. It's like you literally set up this thing to go in place, and then you conceal it. You waited and watched for it to come with an opportunity. You surprised, attacked, and you intended to kill her. The victim does not need to be unaware of the attacker's presence. So that's the difference between premeditation and lying in wait. All right. Lying in wait is much worse. All right. Let's continue. I hope that helps.
Investigators believe he killed her after being concerned either Rivas or a third party would report it, and he wanted to protect his status as a rising star. Investigators say last year, April 23rd, Celeste Rivas went to David's house in the Hollywood Hills, and that was the last time she was seen alive. According to the charging documents, he was allegedly lying in wait to kill her and used a sharp instrument as a deadly weapon.
On September 8th, 2025, Ms. Rivas's dismembered and badly decomposed body was discovered in the front trunk of Mr. Burke's impounded Tesla.
Prosecutors allege in May 2025, David mutilated the body, and the decomposition made the investigation into her cause of death.
And you guys, any questions you have, I'm here. We're listening. We're talking. All right. No ifs, no shortage of topics, cases at Crime Con. You got that right. Premeditated means planned. Deliberate means you did it anyway. All right. Well, yeah, as long as you guys understand, this is in California. This is LAPD and the FBI. All right. Yes, it's California in my state. And that's why I came on really excited today, because they let us down with the Diddy trial. They let us down with the sentencing. And right now, yeah, they're looking at life without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. I mean, they're pulling out the big guns, right?
Especially difficult.
What makes you confident you can prove these allegations?
The totality of the evidence, where we believe we can prove each and every one of these three charges and the special circumstances and the special allegation beyond a reasonable doubt.
And Diane, David's attorney claims the real evidence in this case will show he did not murder Celeste Rivas and was not the cause of her death. But if convicted, David could face life in prison without parole or even potentially the death penalty. Diane.
Trevor Alt, thank you. And ABC News legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer is here for more. Hi, Brian. So
all right, so we're going to do that with this guy instead of watching like a 40-minute episode of Nancy. I love Nancy. And they did a fantastic job. I was watching before I came on here. But, you know, I don't want to spend all night with legal jargon. I want you guys to understand what's going on when you walk away. Yeah, it happened in Los Angeles, but FBI will come in. We don't know what exactly the circumstances were, but yes, it happened in Los Angeles. He was in Los Angeles. Everything was in Los Angeles. She was there, close to there. Anyway. All right, let's continue. If you guys have questions, ask. I'll try to answer them.
DA is adamant they can prove Burke murdered Celeste Rivas Hernandez. What do these charges of first-degree murder and sex crimes tell you about the potential evidence they have?
Good morning, Diane. I'm really focusing on these murder in the first-degree charges because there are 3 separate special circumstances. One, that David is alleged to have been lying in wait. 2.
So I want you to realize that when he's saying 3 special circumstances, this is above and beyond what premeditation is. It's above and beyond. The mutilation is also a special circumstance, guys, which means he didn't just take her life. He mutilated her. He sat there for hours just hacking her and ripping her apart is how they explained it. All right. And we don't know who moved the car yet, but Steve Fisher says that he does know. And I bet you by now they've already talked to that person, and that person is a witness. All right.
2, that he did this for financial gains, and 3, that he did this to silence a witness. And when you put those 3 together as a narrative and you heard the presser, what they're arguing here is that because of the relationship that David had, I believe he was 20 or 19 at the time, in which Celeste was alive when she was then 14, he's with a minor. And the allegations are that David committed this crime not only to hide the fact that he was having this relationship, that's that witness part, but also to save his career, because the obvious assumption is if this was public, he would have lost everything. That's that financial gain part. And then lying wait is the one really intriguing to me, because that tells me the prosecution has some level of information to say that David somehow lured Celeste into an area.
And guys, that's why I was celebrating yesterday when I came on here. These special circumstances mean that law enforcement has a ton of evidence to prove it. I don't think they would go that hard. I'm being mugged by poodles. See you tomorrow. Good night. Have a good night, Deb. All right. We're almost done too. I just want to make sure you guys don't walk away confused. All right. Because yesterday I was like, damn it, I still need to talk this out. I don't understand. But now I do. So special circumstances are even worse. All right. And it means that they have the evidence, which I'm thinking it could be literal evidence of him texting her texting back, and then her location going to his. Okay. It could literally just be that, or it could be somebody that was there, or it could be a video with whatever. They have the evidence, it seems.
Waited and then sprung some sort of trap on her, causing her to be murdered. That's very intriguing to me to see what they have, especially after this very long investigation.
Brian, the motive part of that, they're alleging that he killed Celeste because she was threatening his lucrative music career. How difficult do you think that part will be to prove? And what happens if they can't?
Yeah. So I'll kind of answer in backwards somewhat, Dan. If they can't prove it, then that type of special circumstance murder gets dismissed, but there are still the witness aspect and the lying in wait, so they could still succeed, them being the prosecution in what they're trying to do. But if they can't show a financial gain, if they can't show...
So do you see that? They have to have some real solid evidence to show that. Maybe he texted Neo and said, man, I got to get rid of this bitch. All I want to do is go on tour, and she wants to hold my hand. All I want to do is mess with these other 10-year-old, 11-year-olds, and she's bugging me. I can't take her on tour. She's too young. I got to hide her. Remember, his career started skyrocketing after he met her, right? And rumor has it in the community that he was getting tired of having to hide her. She couldn't go to the things without hiding. And he had more interest in other children. All right. So with these kind of circumstances, then they must have evidence. They got to have evidence.
Some sort of digital forensics, whether it be a text message or a communication between either David and Celeste, or David and another person who is familiar with his accounting and his banking or whatever, something to show his intent. They won't be able to prove that. So I imagine there's going to be a cooperating witness, some sort of digital forensics, something to
remember, as soon as they wrangled up these two people, they got Asia first, and then they went ahead and arrested Neo because he wouldn't come. All right. Once they got that, all of a sudden we get an arrest. No ifs, ands, or buts. Thank you. All right. I bet Kurd victims. Yes, there are. Flojo, or somebody in chat said that there was a third victim that came out, or a third witness or victim. They're building that case. They're building a strong case.
Play out that narrative for the jury.
Brian, an autopsy is often key in a murder case. In this case, this body was very decomposed by the time it was found. So is it still going to play as big of a role?
I think it will play a very big role, Diane. And the prosecutor, D.A. Hawkins, said he's going to actually try to move to get that autopsy report released. But what we see, I think, could tell us a lot about this case. Don't forget, Celeste Rivas' body was found on September 8th of last year in L.A. Her body was presumably there for days, if not weeks. And if we recall...
And guys, you know, if you freeze something... right? You have something frozen and you let it thaw out like that in heat with black bags. It was the cadaver bags and the sun in the trunk. It's going to decompose even faster. All right. Thank you, Flojo. I was just looking that up right now. I was looking up the freaking Reddit link for it. Okay, I didn't get it yet, but let's continue. Thank you.
In LA, they had record high heats in August. I think even just a few days before her body was found, it was in the triple digits in temperature. Inside of a trunk, inside 2 different plastic bags, her body would be heavily decomposed. But if they can find anything in terms of toxicology or any kind of injuries on the bone fragments that were still found, and then have some sort of corroboration with a witness, like someone close to David who said, yes, he did X, Y, and Z, that information, that corroboration could be very damning for David's case.
Brian, the DA says they could seek the death penalty, but they'll determine that later. What goes into that decision, and why not make it now?
Yeah, so the fact that we have these special circumstances along with the murder charges, that lying in wait, the financial gain, the going after a witness, that allows them to upgrade a murder from life in prison without parole to the death penalty.
See? And they may say, who knows? I mean, this is a cocky mofo. He may say, I don't want the death penalty. Let me just take a deal. Right? But right now, he's not. He's playing poker. And so is the prosecutor. They're both playing poker, and they are not showing their hands. Now, prosecution has to hand over some of the evidence before some of the evidence before the pretrial, but they're going to have all of it out once it goes to preliminary, and then we'll get into the steps after this. I'm wondering if a parent to one of those other minor girls brought it to the attention of law enforcement. I don't know, but it's going to be a separate case. Celeste Souls advocating for herself. Justice for Celeste. Yes, thank you. Yes, the state of Cali has a hell of a case against him. That's what I'm thinking too. All right, so I just want to make sure you guys aren't confused. You understand what the charges are. There are 3 of them, and they've got special circumstances attached to it.
And what goes into this is who the victim is. Are they seriously vulnerable? A 14-year-old girl, I think, would fall into that category. Who is the defendant? What is his record? What is the heinousness of the crime? Dismemberment of a body, talking to the victim's family, who I'm assuming would want the harshest of punishment. Having that conversation and evaluating the case is what goes into this, and they'll determine, not today, because they like to take their time and kind of dot their I's and cross their T's, but sometime later on in the days and weeks and potentially months, as to whether or not they seek the death penalty against David.
All right, Brian Buckmeyer, always great to have your analysis. Thank you.
All right, guys, we are going to just quickly run through Reddit so you can see some of the things that are actually happening, etc. All right, remember this, 2022, Celeste and David met. We're in 2026 of April 21st. All right, so let me pull this up so you can just see what's next, etc. And I want to make sure you guys understand. Also, do me a favor and hit that like button. I don't think this is going to be it won't get monetized because of the graping and the salt and all that. But yeah, hey, we're doing our thing. All right. Does someone have a question? I'm curious how many of this type are out there. Everybody. What do you mean? I don't even want to answer that. A lot. All right. So take a look at this. It says SA isn't funny. And I agree. What happens next? That's what I want to know. And I'm just going to quickly tell you what happens next so I can make sure I understand it. So what's next, guys, is a preliminary hearing, which is going to be in 2 days on the 23rd. Then after that, it's a preliminary hearing, and then secondary motions. Now it depends if they file extensions or what. Depends how many files how many extensions. And then it says go to trial. There's they're going this way. Arraignment was first, which they did. Then the preliminary, pretrial motions, preliminary, arraignment to secondary motions, pre-trial hearing, and then trial. They got a lot to go through. Sentencing, appeal. Yeah, I don't like the way they laid this out. I think it goes this way. Now, if you know, since you can weigh in on this. Yes, I was 14 and 15, and he did eventually kill someone. Thankfully, not me. I was not the only one. Well, prayers to you and prayers for Celeste as well. All right, so we got a long way to go before a trial or any of that happens, guys. They don't even have discovery. The defense doesn't have any kind of discovery yet. And I do love this. Bro traded a long, fulfilling, and successful dream for this. Right? A $20,000 a month house for this. That was great. That was the great arrest, man. Love it. All right, I just wanted to show you a couple things. There's another photo of Celeste. Guys, she's a little girl. Look at that little girl. That's who David was doing this to. Right? At Jay, it is getting monetized in Heaven of Jewels, a crown. Yes. Yes. But I wanted to be out there so people can hear the story and understand what happened. But yes, she's a baby, guys. Was she a couple years older? Yeah, sure. But what's the difference? This is who he was doing that to, this little girl. It's so disgusting, man. I can't even believe that. Ugh. All right. And then David's arrest, 4/16/26. Remove all of David's music. So people are talking, things are happening. He's being scrubbed. He's getting his deals taken away. They're not putting out albums, etc., which rightfully so. All right. So we need justice for Celeste Rivas. I hope I did the best I could today. We've been here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I think that's it. Yeah, no, I'm not caring about monetize. It's just because I want it to get into the algorithm so that it can. And also I want people to know what they did. That's stupid. If the whole time I'm like, yeah, graping and SA. Like, what the hell does that mean? No, she was raped and sexually assaulted. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? I got to tell the whole story, and that's fine. I'd rather tell the whole story. What the hell does graping mean? I did not get your email, Flojo. Oh, I did. Third victim speaks out. Okay, let me go to that. I didn't get your email at first. Okay, we need justice for Celeste, and just to solidify this, what we've been talking about, they were already watching David and building a case, okay? Building a case against him for being a pedophile. Thank you, Stacy Michaels. I do appreciate that. All right. So let's do this. And thank you, Flojo, for sending that over. Let me pull this up real quick. Guys, there's a third victim out there, and it's going to be a separate case than the Celeste case. Victim number 3. All right. These are children too. Number 3 statement following David's arraignment. Another victim's come out. Look at David. The girl's face is scratched out, and they've got the third witness coming forward. Give me some time and I'll write you a statement. Take your time, no rush. Hi, everyone. I know nobody knows who I am, but I was a victim of David Burke. I'm just going to say how happy I am to see him arrested. My identity has remained hidden because I deserve a life outside of the case. I went through a lot with David, and this is all very hard for me, but to see him behind bars brings a smile to my face. I feel safer and more at peace with my life. I appreciate everyone who helped bring me and other victims to justice. I know things haven't been fully done, but they will be. All right. This is what I have to say to the public. Let me know when you release it. Thank you. You have been brave and amazing. Thank you. Please let me know when it is. All right. Together with David in 2024 at the same time that he was with Celeste. Now, remember, they were already building a case against David for being a pedo. Mind you, he would only got probably a couple years, maybe a few years. Now he just ruined it all. Cool. And Chris, what's up? Good to see you. If they were already investigating him, why so long to put him in custody? Because they had to make sure they built the case, Bren. And I said at the beginning of this show, he has the right to a speedy trial right now. If he does not sign the right to waive a speedy trial, then the trial could start in 60 days or 90 days? Defense doesn't have to put on. Prosecution has to put the case and make sure there's no reasonable doubt. So they had to cross their T's and dot their I's to make sure that they had the case built. So that way, if next week he says, we're going to trial, there's 40 terabytes of stuff, y'all are stupid, I'm smarter than you, let's go, then guess what? They have to go too. And if they didn't get their ducks in a row and all the evidence, then guess what? You can't retry him again for that. And it wasn't a murder charge. It wasn't originally. It was for him being a pedo. which is much different than chopping someone up. All right. We don't know who the second victim is. You got to remember, these people are children. Thank you so much, Inquisitive P, for the $1.99 towards our goal. All right. So, yeah, that's the best answer I can give you, is that we're not going to know who it is, and rightfully so. These are children. Yes, they have to have hardcore evidence with those charges and the special circumstances. Yes, justice for Celeste. We don't know who the second person is, Allie, at all, but I will keep us going. I'll keep you guys posted as we go. Hey, Nanny Flojo, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, man. I do. All right, let me is that it? Is that what you wanted me to read, or was there anything else? I mean, basically more people are coming out. We know David's a pedo. Oh, here it goes. Okay, listen, real quick. To begin with, this is not victim number 1, who was the girl whose text messages were leaked online and subsequently posted on Reddit to share her perspective on David. She later removed her post. Celeste came after and is victim number 2. All right, guys, and Allie. So victim number 1 was another little girl. Victim number 2 is another little girl that's named Celeste. That is Celeste, the witness that he killed. Okay, so there's more victims, and Celeste was going to be a witness. All right, so victim number 1 was a girl whose text messages got leaked. Victim number 2 was Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And victim number 3, SF suggested David having seen her on Valentine's Day 2024 at the mansion. All right, we're talking about this girl, which we don't know who it is, and rightfully so. Celeste on the same evening at 8:04, which we knew since November 2025 as true. And then we have maintained communication with this little girl since November 2025, thanks to our sleuths. We verified that this is indeed one of the victims with unseen video and numerous unseen photographic evidence. She ultimately found the courage to speak with a certain PI in January 2026. It was probably Steve Fisher. The situation remains uncertain regarding whether the DA will impose additional charges on David in the future. They probably will. They probably will have a separate case for him being a pedo. All right. So her initial reaction is what? It's coming out rapid fire. Amazing. All right. Anyway, we've gone through all this. I think I'm done for the day. Let's lock this guy up forever and not get parole. And let's hope that they impose no bail. 0 bail. Do not give any bail. Let him stay in there. All right. But thank you guys for being here. I wonder if he was talking to another. He was. She even said it. Yeah, she even said, like, graping girls. All right, guys. Thank you to everyone that was here today. All the mods, Mama Pearl. I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat. We need justice for Celeste. And guys, welcome to the crime crew. If anybody else is just joining today, welcome to Guilty of Crime. All right. And yeah, you guys can go scour the internet and see what you can find. There's a lot out there. Positive Vibe, member for 4 months. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, guys. You guys have a good one and sub up. Come back. Hang out with us. All right. Yeah. Lock the key and throw it away. All right, guys. I love you. I'll be back tomorrow. You know the drill. See you guys then. Bye. And welcome everybody that's new. Good night. Good night, Kira, Danielle, Sadie's mama. All right. And don't forget to go vote for Sint's daughter, Elizabeth Winter Rose. She dropped the link there. Go help her out. All right. Wolfpack's here every day now. We should just give you a wrench back, girl. I hope you're doing okay, though. Bye, Golden Hand. Thank you. And Stacy and everybody else that enjoys my coverage. I appreciate it. And thank you. Thank you so much, Romana and Ali. Adios. Chris, Cool and Chris. I can't wait to meet y'all. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Guilty of Crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe.
You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?